3, 2. Oh my God.
Yo, what's up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
Shout out to Airtime, y'all podcast.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the show. We have one of my favorite snowboarders. I know I say that about everybody, but this individual in particular has shaped my riding more than I even know. He's the same age as me, and he was the one that was already in the mags, sponsored, and was somebody I really looked up to from a very early age as one of the biggest up-and-comers from Canada during the early 2000s, and rightfully so. An absolute ATV on the snowboard, whether it's quarter pipe, hip, rails, backcountry, pillows, he can ride it all. And he continues to ride it all minus the rails. We got Dustin Craven on the show. How you doing, boss?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. What a long road it's been.
The tail press cover of Transworld a long time ago.
That's not one of my favorite moments of my career, but yeah, I mean, it was obviously that one's not put up around the house by any means.
Let's start it off with a really open-ended question, as I feel like there's not many in snowboarding that love snowboarding and all of its fucking layers as much as you do. Why does Dustin love snowboarding so much?
I think it's probably just like it's always been there. So it's like from being such a young kid growing up, and then just like, school or anything, all the bullshit of life, even when you're growing up and you're trying to navigate who you are and what you want to be. I think just like snowboarding was always there. It was just like I'd go to COP and, you'd ride so many, like 6 days a week, like 3 p.m. till 9 p.m., whether I had to take the bus or walk there. Or one time I rollerbladed down the highway to get there, rollerbladed down the Trans-Canada. It was just always, something that was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be doing. And it was always really easy for like everything else to be background noise. And then just the older I got, the more everything else did just become background noise. And it was like, it's always been so easy for me to put everything aside and just put snowboarding first. And I think that's just because when you're doing it, you can express yourself and you have so much fun, and you're just living in that moment. And there's always something that you can work on. There's always something that can drive you to be better at it. And I don't know, every year is new and every year is different. And some years, you do amazing things, and some years you do amazing things in different aspects of it than you thought you would. And I think it's just like, it's always an unknown. Everything that you've already done previously in the last year is, the second the season's over, is already obsolete. So it's like, it's always what's next. It's what's to come. And it's always an unknown, because ultimately we're dictated by like our snow season. And I love that part of it. I love not knowing if you're going to have 50 pow days or 30, or, if you're going to catch your biggest air, or maybe be your last big air. You never know.
True. I really like what you had to say about different aspects of snowboarding, and how, you used to probably look into like, did I film my best video part this year? But as you get older, you're like, maybe I didn't film my best part, but I got really good at sledding this year. I got really good at mentorship. There's like a lot of different layers. And as you get older, and you've been doing this for 25 years, there is kind of more than just the snowboarding. And to speak to that, we recently lost, as many of you know, 3 friends in a horrible avalanche, and we were up Mount Seymour a while ago celebrating the life of one of our loved ones, Jeff Keenan. They did the same for Alex Pashley, Jason Rempel, and maybe we could speak to that, the day that we had up at Seymour, because Jeff embodied just that. He embodied more than just the snowboard. You know what I mean? He had picked up the camera. He was a mentor. He started a snowboard company. You started a snowboard company. You mentored so many people. I feel like a lot of us, as we get older and we stay in snowboarding, the snowboarders who are fully snowboarding, and Jeff Keenan was just that, it's kind of a special group to be a part of. And seeing that turnout at Mount Seymour really reflected just how much Jeff brought to snowboarding, besides just his brand or just his snowboarding or just filming, and yeah, maybe speak on that day that we had up Mount Seymour.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was so happy, sad. It's like you're seeing people that you haven't seen for maybe even a decade or a bit, and everyone's out there and it's super emotional, but everyone's just like having a good time. And then like for me, yeah, when you get there, you're just like today, what means the most to me is just to ride as hard as I possibly can all day, It's like, that's what those guys loved. Jeff, Pashley, those guys, they all just like, they always just figured out ways to keep themselves snowboarding. And it's like whatever avenue they got into, it was so that they could be out there. It was so that they were enjoying themselves. It was so that they stayed part of something that they loved. And just because it wasn't maybe the aspect that they first ever saw themselves being a part of, they just tried to be as important as they could to a part of it that they loved, so that they could keep being out there, keep being supportive, keep riding, getting these laps. And, and then also at some point, experiencing someone else's experience for the first time. Jeff takes some young girls out to like a pillows, and they're riding pillows for the first time ever in their life, and he's like capturing maybe like a changing in their riding for the first time ever. And, Pash bringing up younger riders too, and then taking them like the first time they ever get to go to Alaska, or like their first trip to Japan, like Mateo this year, he was fortunate enough to get to do like three like trips that would like, in my mind, like I would kill to go on any one of those trips, because that was like a trip of a lifetime, And I think, yeah, him getting to experience that with such a great guy that's been around everyone for so long is just like so powering. And I'm sure like for those guys, just being able to be a part of those moments was also like what drove them to continue to push and try and take those positions to create those opportunities.
The way I kind of looked at that whole day was, it felt like the last scene of the Titanic, which I've said to a couple people, but everyone's there. Everybody on the ship of snowboarding was there, especially the Canadians, for the Sea to Sky Borders and the Alberta Borders. Like the whole crowd showed up. Like if you've been snowboarding for the last 2-3 decades and you were there, it was like impossible to put it into words how special that day was.
Yeah, and I think to speak to that too, it's like the Titanic's a good thing, because it's like, it's the unsinkable ship, and snowboarding is in our way, our unsinkable ship, and it's never going to go down. But it's like, obviously certain things happen and you get to see someone does go down or something bad does happen, but you're like, oh, we're all here. Like we're going to go down together. It's like all of us are willing to walk into the wheelhouse and take the brunt of the wave in the face, but it's like, everyone's there, and they're just trying to express themselves and show up on the day. And however you do that, or whatever mode of doing that is, whether that's like making everyone beef skewers, or if it's, trying to slash 30 feet in the air every single time you have a chance to, or if it's cranking the hardest method you ever cranked in your life. It's like on that day, you just show up and you just try and express yourself through the sport that we all loved in the best capacity you can.
Wow. Well said. Yeah, that one for me was, I mentioned special, but not being able to find quite the words. It was the first time I felt like it wasn't a snowboard event. It was more, and I think that everybody that's been a part of snowboarding since its birth, I don't know if there's been a lot of community events with that gathering there. That event was so traumatic, and there were so many layers to that, like Jeff being a mentor, a father, and then Alex also passing, and Jason Rempel, and the people that were affected by that avalanche. It's been so hard for me to digest and like comprehend the impact of that loss. Dealing with the grief half decent, or
unfortunately too, at the start of March, one of our other friends, Dingo, passed away, and Dingo was huge to me too, and it just so happened that it happened before natural selection, and so I kind of buried that just to deal with the stress of doing the contest and all that, and was like, just felt like I was kind of coming to terms with like kind of dealing with crying on dog walks and doing that with the Dingo stuff, and then that morning with this accident, just like extra rock, and it's like you're just like, felt like the process was just like shot back to zero, and it's just like you're trying to deal with something else. And so it's just like, for me, it's like I know a lot of people were like expressing themselves on Instagram, and it was great, like reading that. But it's just like I had to delete my Instagram because it's like I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is open my phone. It's like there's guys' faces around my Instagram. I'm just like, after like my day's ruined. I'm crying all day. It's like that's just hard to get through. Obviously, like things like the ride day are so important because it's like we love our sport so much, and it's like you believe that there is a community there, and you know that there is a community, and then it's like on the moments when you're not totally sure, you know, sometimes you lose sight of your community because we're all so spread out, and then it's like on those days that everyone shows the fuck up and goes nuts. It's like those are the days that count to make you realize how much you do love your sport, and I think that's really important. So it's like, it was like part of the process, and it'll be a long process, like to fully say goodbye. And I feel like, you know, talking to Leanne or Brennan and stuff, and it's like, you're not going to know until you're at a moment where you're like alone and your brother would have been there or like your friend would have been there. So that's hard. I feel like that comes later, the like actual like realizing that like, you know, someone that you talked to or saw or like had that conversation, you have their voice in your head and you have those moments and you have them every year. And it's like, well, I don't know when that moment will come, but it's like, that's when I think you'll like truly feel like the emptiness of it. But as far as everyone coming together and like supporting each other, it's like, yeah, it's like that's part of why I love snowboarding. I love it every year. It's like because everyone shows up when they need to.
To see everybody gather at that event, and people flew from all over the place. Like you had, I'm friends with all these people, and that day for me specifically, it made me feel like very proud to be a snowboarder, but more, I was like, this is my other family now. Like I really care about a lot of these people, and similar to a best friend, you don't always need to see that person. But when you do run into them, it goes right back to the last time you hung out. And to feel that comfortable around that many people is an insane privilege that you get through being a part of a community for so long.
Yeah, so it's like I was saying afterwards, like snowboarding's timeline is like, and like your timeline of your community is like infinite, and it's like, it's always been there, and people have great moments and they'll have great moments together and stuff, but it's like it doesn't matter when on that timeline, if it happened 10 years ago or then. It's like it's just snowboarding is always like just this infinite timeline of like where you meet up again, but it doesn't matter, you're always there from the beginning. And it's not like, oh, I haven't seen you forever, you don't call. It's just like, what's up, you know? It's like we're still just doing this. It's like it feels like just another day on the playground, you know? It's like I just find there's like, yeah, I just find that too. It's just like I can meet up with anyone that I've snowboarded with at any point in my career or life, and it's like we're back to doing runs. It's like the jokes are the same, the shit's the same. It's like it's not like why don't we hang out anymore? It's like that stuff doesn't matter. It's like we're hanging out now, and we'll hang out again.
A best friend, somebody that is truly somebody that you love to share time with. There's people you like, then there's people you'd go on vacation with. I feel like the snowboard community at large is mainly people I'd go on vacation with because I actually fucking like them. Like if I was in Mexico and the vast majority of those people from Seymour texted me, hey, I'm in Mexico too, I'd be like, let's link up. Even more so now, like that clique at Seymour was like heavy for me. I was like, fuck, I fucking like walking around. You see like Devin, Dion, Browner, Jeeves, like Todd, Chucky, like the list of just my favorite humans that have impacted my life so much because I was such a fucking snowboard nerd and I digested all these people's video parts. Then you get older and then you actually hang out with them, their kids, outside of snowboarding, and the people are better than the snowboarding. You're like, these fucking people are incredible. And now they're my friends that I can actually like fucking lean on through some of the worst times of my life. Like, similar to you, I don't feel like I've digested this. I've been so busy with work. I have so much shit on my plate right now, and I just haven't allowed myself to go in that space. Like my mom called me the other day and she was like, you know, your aunt's really sick and, you know, she's not going to be, and I'm very close with an aunt. It's another, I'm not great at dealing with this type of stuff. And I think if anything, if I'm speaking openly, I just kind of like avoid it, like, and I try not to think about it. But at times, like a funeral or going to Seymour. It's you actually kind of sink into it a bit more. Like there was a moment I had to just walk away from that whole group, and I just went and kind of sat by myself and had like, I just saw everybody there. And that's where the Titanic fucking thing came to me. I was like, man, everybody's here. It's like the fucking last scene. Like everybody I fucking love in snowboarding is here today. It felt like a fucking dream. Like it felt like that last scene because it didn't feel fucking real.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest things too I kept feeling was like, I'm like, it's so happy, and you're like, and just like you expect to see Jeff. You know, it's like you're doing stuff, and it's just like you expect to like be looking down from the chair, and that he's doing like a method, or like that you're walking through, and it's like he's gonna be like, you're gonna see him over with someone like having his like that Jeff laugh that you can hear in your head for the rest of your life. You know?
Yeah, that was because these individuals are so important. I feel like we're leaning into this conversation, and I feel like it's important to share stories about these individuals, because anybody who's listening to this podcast right now cares about snowboarding to some extent. And the reason why snowboarding was so fucking special is not always people like yourself that have been in front of the lens. It's people like Jeff that are behind the lens, that started a snowboard company. People like Pash that are a team manager, a brand person, a photographer that are working behind the scenes. Someone like Dingo, who's the forefront of the voice of Grenade Gloves, which was one of the coolest fucking snowboard companies of all time, and that emceed every major event at one point. Like all three of those pillars were behind the scenes and so important to this community. Maybe can you speak a little bit to like who those individuals were to Dustin?
I kind of met them all like probably in the same year. I think I was probably like 16. Jeff was the first year we did Sandbox. He had came out to Banff a couple times and I met him, and then actually like the first time I ever went snowmobiling was with Jeff, and he doubled me into Callahan, like on like one of those old boat sleds, like probably like an 02 or something. And I just remember like I didn't know him that well. I was staying at his house. Like this is the start of just like us always coming out to Whistler and always having a place to stay, and like the start of just like a really cool like big brother kind of friendship. But yeah, I just remember that day, just like we're on the way out, and it's like Jeff had a bit of a like he could snap a little bit. So it was like on the way out, I'm just like 16. I'm in his Tacoma and we're driving, and he's just like I'm gonna lose it today. I'm gonna lose it, but I'm not losing it on you. Okay, I'm gonna be yelling. I'm not specifically yelling at you. And then we're like, finally, like that's early in the drive, and then we like turn on, and then like the Callahan road's like rutted to shit. So it's just like his truck just like starts like slamming into the like back and forth. Like he's got not dice on his mirror, but like some trinkets, and they're like slamming and hitting the mirror, and he's fuck, like losing it. And I was like, we're not even sledding yet. And then I'm just like, okay, like he's not mad at me. It's like, so we get through that process, and he gets me out there, and I hadn't really like that. Yeah. Hadn't seen like Whistler backcountry. And then just like, those guys are like, you know, this first time I ever saw like those guys use two snowmobiles to build a trail. Like that's how you get down to like this lower area. And then just like, Jeff just like shredded this one line and like stomped it. And I remember just being like, whoa, like this is what, like, we don't ride like this at Sunshine. This is like, he just dared double the size of the trash chutes. Like this guy's a crazy guy, you know? Like, so that was kind of the start of that friendship. And then, yeah, like, just through all the years, like we always came out and we'd like his parents had the A-frame, so like Brendan and him and Damone lived there, and we'd just come out, and like I think my snowmobile almost lived there for a full year once. Like it was just like like our first ever like out of town flop house. Like we're welcome. We just show up, hit the pull out couch for like 10 days and hang out in Whistler. Like that was super special. And then yeah, Pashley and Dingo, I met out when like I did the Vail session. It was my first ever U.S. contest. I went down for that, and yeah, just like both those dudes were at it. I remember just like meeting Dingo and him knowing who I was from announcing the contest, and just like I remember sitting on a beanbag with him, and it's just like he was just like so in tune with like just like asking me questions about like who I am and like what I want, like what I'm doing, and like that it's cool that I'm doing, and like almost just he's like a guy that you never met before, and he's like, I'm 16 years old, and he's like already like pumping you up, you know? He's like he has that hype man, but he can do it with anyone. It's just like, what are you up to? It's like, oh, this is great, like that's great, like oh, that's so cool, you know? Like just like instantly made you feel like you're super welcome. And same with Danny, like him and Danny were both there. And it's just like, you're just meeting these guys, and like Dingo, I didn't know. And obviously Danny Cass, like everyone knew, you know? So you think you're meeting like this like crazy hardcore, I don't know, like, you know, Night of the Living Shred, Danny Cass, that's like, I don't know, maybe like hits puppies or something. And then you find out that he's actually just the nicest guy in the entire world. And you're like, oh my God, like these guys are incredible. Like, this is so cool. Like Grenade Army, like I want to be a Grenade Army kind of like that situation where you're just like, I don't know what you guys are up to, but like, I want to be on board, you know, like you guys are sick. And then, that same trip, I ended up doing a Transworld magazine trip at the end of it. I got invited on because I snowboarded pretty good in the contest, and then Pashley just happened to be on it. And like honestly, like that was just like good hanging out. Like Pashley just like super funny, like never. And then I just never really like understood what that time meant. And then like getting older, and then just like Pashley always being such good friends of my snowboard friends, you know. But like my paths never really crossed with him that much. But it was always just like, man, this dude seems like so sick. Like he's always on a trip that I wish I could be on with my friends that are like, you know, it's like Curtis or like all those guys when they're like doing these amazing things, and you're like, man, that guy like just is like there. It's like seems like he's like at the forefront of like every good joke, and like, you know, so it's like unfortunately in my career that me and Pashley didn't get to spend more time together, but like just so much respect for that dude and just like what he's done and what he's done for my friends. And you know, like just like not knowing him that well, but like Mateo getting to spend time with him this last year and having like those trips leading up to the accidents, like, man, I was like that's incredible. Like you got to see or hang out with the dude that's like was probably at the pinnacle of like who he is and like that side of the industry. It's like that guy's probably like finally worked his way into like this job where he's like he's connecting dots for the right people. And it's like, you know, in like too, it's just like you're like, oh, Mateo, like you stick with North Face because like Pash, like if you got Pash there, it's like, man, you're gonna like your next 10 years spoken for, you know. So it's like just be able to say that about someone, you know, like that their moment and like what they're doing in the snowboard industry and like for your friends is just like so inspirational and so nice to see.
It's almost impossible for snowboarding to realize as a whole how profound this loss is. Like the mentorship that Jeff gave you, he's still doing for Full Moon 20 years later. That same experience about your first time going out and the double track getting put in and then him dropping some rowdy line, he did that this year with like the Pelchat's daughters and stuff like their first experience is with Jeff Keenan. Totally. And you have Pash, who's since the early 2000s has been involved as either a brand manager or a team manager since way back before even Rozzy. I mean, he was a rep rider on Burton early on. Like he has done so much to shape behind the scenes what brands should look like and what they should value. And I love that you were speaking to, he was just really hitting his stride. He was to me from an outsider and somebody who he was not fully my team manager, but I was wearing the North Face stuff for 2 years. I was getting it through Pash. At the end of the year, Alex, the Canadian girl, and Pash had extra budget left over, and they just sent me $9,000. They were just like, hey, like we couldn't pay you. You've done so much this season. Like, we can't put you on the team, but you've been riding for us for 2 years for free. This is at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And, like, finding out that's the type of person that I think Pash is he's like, if you love snowboarding as much as him, if you can go out into the mountains and enjoy this as much as him and enjoy the banter, he put himself in a position where he's like, I want to bring people around into these settings that will bring the best out of each other. And Pash just seemed like he extracted like people going out into the mountains and still providing good snowboarding, still getting the workload done, but enjoying that whole fucking process, like not overlooking that. Like, let's go out into the mountains as a group of friends and he wants to be out there as much as you. There's nothing worse than going out with somebody who's a filmer, photographer, or rider that doesn't want to be in the mountains. And Pash working on the back end and knowing that your team manager or your boss loves being out there as much as you actually fucking means something. And then the Dingo, the same thing. It's like impossible to put into words what those fucking 3 did. And now that they're not here, there is a massive void in snowboarding. And I really hope that we find the right people, not to replace, but to step into those shoes and those roles that have somewhat of the same amazing characteristics that those 3 had. And because it's going to be really hard to fill, but they were really important figures. And now that they're gone, you know, as snowboarding slightly turns into a new landscape that sometimes I feel like I'm not sure I recognize, losing those 3 is the hit on is just fucking massive.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that void will be felt forever. I think though it's like you know, you're not truly gone until someone says your name for the last time, you know, and I think those people were important enough that it's like their names will echo through a few generations still to come, you know. So it's like their importance in snowboarding I think was outstanding enough to be talked about for a really long time.
All right, let's do a little bit of a rewind here. We love all 3 of those. We miss you. But you know, if you guys are listening to this, you guys all like fucking jokes. We're going to rewind and we're going to talk with Dustin out here for a bit. Okay, so we're going to rewind. We're going to go back to the little bit of the beginning. What do you believe helped put you on the map? Because you blew up quick.
So I was like, you know, we have this, like COP's the small ski hill in Calgary. For those of you who don't know, it's like, I don't know, like a 2-minute chair ride, and then it's just a park top to bottom. So it's like, you're there riding park constantly. It's like you're doing like 40 laps a night of riding tables and rails in a row. So it's like you obviously just like, it's that 10,000 hour thing where it's like you do 10,000 hours. It's like eventually you're going to start to get pretty good. I was always there and I put in the time to always just keep trying. Wasn't getting better. Kept trying. But in this process of always like trying really hard, I'm also fortunate enough that like the best person in like contest or at COP was Jed Anderson. So it's like, I'm trying to be good, and one of the best snowboarders of all time is the kid that like you have to beat, you know? So it's like, and Jed's just such a natural talent that it's like, he tried to get away from competing as soon as possible, but he's years younger than me, but he was always in the contest. It's like, why is Jed winning these pipe counts? So it's just like, I'm the type of snowboarder that, isn't very creative, but it's like I can watch what's working and then make it work for me. So if I watch Jed hit, like I just watch and I see like, why is he getting these points? And then it's like, and then that just helps me to put together this like opportunity to like create these scores or like to push myself. But realistically, like it all boiled down to one night for me. I just was like at COP, I think it was maybe me, like Eric Malice and Miles, our friend Miles Millard. And it was kind of snowing. It was shitty. We were the only 3 there. Like the whole park was empty, and it was just like 3 hits in a row. I went cab 5, cab 7, cab 9, landed all 3 of them in a row. And it was like, I remember that. And I was like, that was like when my snowboarding changed. It was like, I stomped all 3. It's like my confidence went through the roof. And then it was just like every other week at COP, I'd be out with Stastic and it'd be like, same thing. It'd just be like, we'd start hitting a jump and be like, switch back 5, switch back 7, switch back 9. Like maybe try and switch back 10s or something, just like, oh, just keep spinning. You know, Stastic would be on the side and be like, yeah, just keep going. Like, just keep spinning, you know, like, but then that's just like, yeah, just like the confidence and like, have like Mike Stastic was my coach for years, and just like his ability to instill confidence in riders and stuff is just like, he's just there and he's like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like you're going through the process. He's helping you tweak a little bit, but he's just more of like so stoked. So it's like, you're just like, yeah, okay, we're doing this. So that's like, yeah, that was kind of like my big breakout, was kind of like just getting to that point. And then it was just like, then beating Jed. And then just like, which is like shitty thing. It sounds shitty when you say it, right? Like, what was your goal in life? Like, oh, I beat Jed. Then, you know,
that's still my goal.
So then, yeah, just getting to that point, and then just getting to that point where it's just like any contest I'd ride in Alberta is just like, I would just like win them all. It's like half pipe contest. It was just like, we had everyone every weekend back then. It's just like, and I just started winning and winning and winning. And then it's just like, I started getting good to the point where it's like, obviously people took notice, and then I did get sponsored and stuff. And then, you know, like the first time I ever went away from like, oh, you're the best at COP, but then I went to like the US Open or like the Vail Session. And it's like, you go to those places, and then it's like, you know, like I think my first US Open, I think I got like 6th in slopestyle. I think like UC got 5th, you know, like, I'm like, okay, like I'm not like the best, you know, because like I wasn't like a crazy snowboard nerd. So it's like I didn't even know who UC really was. I knew he was on Burton, but I don't really know who those guys are. It's like I never picked up a snowboard mag until like way later. My first snowboard movie I ever even watched was like True Life. So it's like I had no like I didn't know who Terrier was. I remember like Stastic and another guy like kind of making fun of me when I was a kid because they're like, you don't even know who Terrier is. Like didn't care. It's like it was always about the snowboarding to me. I just wanted to snowboard hard, and like and win. And yeah, it's like you're the best forever at like that, and then you leave, and then you see how good other people are, and then you kind of have something to come home and like work even harder too, because you're like, now I need to train this good now for when I do get to go on like these 3 contest trips a year. It's like I got to go down there and be that good, and you realize how good other people are, which is kind of sick.
All right, kind of maybe 2 questions here. One, did you know who Terrier was by the time you went to the Arctic Challenge?
Yeah, I'd heard of him by then. I mean,
second part of that is who are some of the riders that would have been at those contests, like the Vail Sessions, maybe Vans Triple Crown, the US Open, and the Arctic Challenge, that were floating around that you took notice of really quick?
Well, that was like I think maybe it was 16. Like it was probably like, I think that contest happened always in like December or January. So I think I was 16, went down to the Vail Session, and it was like Andreas Wig, Travis Rice, like all the like the biggest snowboards you ever, like those guys are all doing like, this is back then. So it's like, it was like 3 9s and a 10 was like, that was like the crazy run, you know? And it's like, I just remember being like, the jumps were big, and it's just like, and you just had to go. But it was like, you're watching those dudes where it's like, I remember even the one run, it was like Travis like maybe was in second. So he went like 9, 10, 10, and then did like went for his frontside dub. And that was probably the first time I'd ever got tried in contest. And just like seeing that from the top, you're just like, holy shit. Like this is kind of a different level, you know? It's like, it's cool to be there at that age, you know? It's like, where it's like, whoa, these guys are, I mean, it's still always like that. It's like you go to I still go to the contest where Travis is in it, and I'm like, motherfucker, you know. It's like 15 or 36. I'm still in an event with him, and I'm like, this sucks. This guy is way better.
20 years later, you're like, what's up, Travis? The last
like
frame
he probably doesn't know that. He probably doesn't know that when I was 16, we were 20 years ago that we were actually in an event together. You know,
he doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember that matchup.
Yeah. It is crazy, though, just because we're on that note, that you have gone against Travis at, I don't know exactly the year, 2022 or 2023. You were against Travis, and you actually beat Travis. And I remember some sort of vague commentary between the two of you, and he like gives you a big hug, and he was like, yeah, I think you took that one. I think it was on Scary Cherry.
Yeah, I think it was like
at Baldface.
It was kind of like a defining moment for me and like my natural selection stuff. Not just because I won, but because that run in particular, I remember I was at the top and it was like, the snow sucked. Like it was like bulletproof, which is like, I kind of like when it sucks, because as soon as people's confidence goes down, I'm like, I don't really give a shit. Like I'll play, like I'm against the rider, not the conditions. It's like, if you're having the worst day of your life, it's like, it's probably going to work for me. It's like anyone can snowboard good when the snow is good. It's like, it takes something special to not care. So I was like dropping in. I was like, okay, I'm going to do like off the top. I'm like, okay, I'll do a back 3. And I was just like at the top, and I was just like, you'll never be here again. Like, this is it. Like, you're never going to, like, this is the end of your like natural selection career. Like, basically, like this is it. Like, you might as well just go for it. And just like went for it. As soon as I landed the cab 5, it was just like, oh, it's on. Like, just landed my whole way to the bottom. And Travis was just like, you could kind of, sometimes I feel like Travis, he's so good that it's like, he thinks he can kind of like scoot some of the rounds. So it's like he doesn't go to the full of his ability. He just does enough that he can get to, because I think he's already on his finals runs. Like in his head, he's already won. he's got that all planned out. So it's like he's not doing his best run right then against Dustin Craven, who's like, what is this? What's this guy doing here? So it's like getting to that point, and then you're like, he kind of like maybe didn't go as hard as he should have, and then it's like, well, dude, I got like nothing to lose here. Like I'm gonna go as hard as I possibly can. And I just got to the bottom, and he just was like, he's like, that's the best run of the day. Like, give me a hug. And I was like, sweet, dude. Like, that's awesome. Like, that's crazy. And then yeah, I think it was the highest score of the contest, which is like also it's always nice with the contest. It's like after that moment, it's like now I'm boom or bust. I'm box or body bag. It's like if it's like the hardest way down the mountain is like the only way that I can live with myself. And I think that's something that I learned from it was actually the Canadian natural selection that we did at Valhalla, where I didn't go for it, and then I lost harassment, and I have the capabilities to go for it, and I just reserved myself on like one front seven that I was going to do, and I pulled out of it and did a method instead. And it's like I still think about that, where I'm like, always go for it. It's like my odds of landing are usually pretty high, so it's like now it's always like I'd rather do 6 front flips down the mountain than think that I could have done better.
I mean snowboarding clicked for you at a very early age. Was there ever some profound advice that you got from a mentor, or something that you said you got the cab 5, cab 7, cab 9 at COP, but did any rider ever tell you something that helped you like land better or ride better?
I'd say like riding with Hardingham was just like your balls to the wall. It's like that was like learning that it's like you give her. It's like you give her bullets because you don't know if you're ever gonna not be able to give her bullets, kind of deal. It's like, and like obviously risk and reward of Andrew giving her hell kind of didn't work out for him in the end, because he ended his career trying to chicane on a jump. He should never even thought about that. But yeah, I think like just that, yeah, it's like you just got to go for it.
Well, we have a Patreon question from one of your close friends, somebody who has been there alongside your whole career, really. Well, at least when I think of this name, I think of your name as I flip through magazines. Jeff Patterson, the photographer, sent in a guest question. Thank you for everybody who supports us on Patreon. It means the world. All that money goes into airtime TV, paying for the filmer or new cameras and stuff. So we greatly appreciate it. But Jeff asks, what's one of your favorite Andrew Hardingham stories?
Yeah. This one time when we were at Superpark, Andrew, I was too young. Like, this is back when I was kind of like, I was too young to go out, but I might have been out at the bar. Yeah, I was out at the bar. Anyways, like the night moves on and it's like everyone leaving and Andrew just like disappears. And the next day we're like hanging out and Andrew like shows up to this like one jump and he's sleeping under it. He's like on the side of the jump, like with his jacket like tented over him. He's just like sleeping against the wedge. Everyone's like, what's up with him? And I'm like, I don't know. And then he's like finally like kind of like wakes up mid-afternoon and he's like, hey, I'm going to do this gap into the woods. It's like, it's beyond stupid when you're like thinking about it. You're like, hey, this guy's like, there's like, it's like a 10-meter landing strip in like pine trees, like that. You're like, this is like, even if you land, you're just gonna stop and then hit a tree. It's like, but for some reason he gets like these ideas and they got to be done. So anyways, he does that, but then afterwards they like find out the story and he's like, yeah, so like the cops showed up to that bar and I'm like, okay. And he's like, the cops showed up and they were like, I just started running. And the cops started chasing me. And Andrew was like, and then next thing I know, I was like thigh deep in snow. And the cops yelling at me, why are you running? I was just running back at him, because you're chasing me. And so they like get him and they like throw him in the cop car. And he's like, yeah. And then I was in the cop car and I started talking about Lyme disease with ticks. And as I'm telling the cop this, I'm like, oh, I got the cuffs around. Like I got the cuffs around the back of my knees, and then I'm like still going off with the Lyme ticks, and it's like I got one leg out and I'm just cuffed behind one leg. Boom, the cop opens the door and just kind of like hanging out the door, like making eye contact with the cop. It's like you're going to jail, buddy. So like, yeah, it just like that was his night leading up to like this like extraordinary moment. If everyone only remembers the part where he jumped in the trees, but when you get the backstory of like why he felt like shit and stuff, you're like, I imagine after after that night, you'd have to do something pretty extraordinary to feel okay about yourself.
So wait, he was trying to escape from the cuffs or something?
Yeah, I guess he just started running, and the cops started chasing him, and then the cops were like, "Why are you running?" He's like, "'Cause you're chasing me." So yeah, I guess that. Yeah, he's got a lot of other great moments, obviously, and great things that he's done. He's always pretty funny.
Would you say that you took some of his approach to professional snowboarding and making a name for yourself and kind of embodied some of that whole Andrew Hardingham approach?
I think like the biggest comparison was like when I was young, and then kind of like got under TJ Schneider's wing for a little bit there. And I feel like from TJ in particular, TJ was so good at being a professional. He was like so good at taking time to talk to people. Like if you went to events, he like kind of like, he did like the professional part where it's like, you know, you're like checking all the boxes of like talking to the people, being good to the fans, like all that kind of stuff. And then Andrew kind of taught me almost like, I always think like TJ Ying, Andrew Yang. And it's like, Andrew was the exact opposite where it's like, he's like, you don't take shit too seriously. It's like we ride hard, we party hard. Like, you know, like, so that aspect of it. I definitely think in the long run, I took way more from Andrew's side of it, because I know at the end here, it's like really hard. Being a professional and like it's always like showing up on that level is like pretty hard to do the older you get and the more you're close into your snowboarding. But yeah, I feel like both those guys kind of like gave me the right path to like how to write a good email and, you know, be this guy that the company needs, and then also to be like the guy that snowboarding needs in some sense, you know?
I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but when I think of early Dustin, I think about somebody who was young on Red Bull, on Oakley, on Capita, 50-50ing huge rails with like Dwayne and TJ, riding quarter pipes at the Arctic Challenge, like one of my favorite snowboarders. But I also think that like you had a little bit of like a fuck you kind of cocky swag to you, or maybe just a lot of confidence at a really young age. I think a lot of people might have thought you as like when you were in Throw Your Panties and stuff like that, like as like a little bit of a shithead. Did you make any mistakes in those younger years that looking back, now that you're older, you're like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have navigated this like that? Or, and with that, do you have any advice for kids who might be getting a lot of shine at the 16 to 19-year-old age like you did, which I think has a drastic impact on a young kid's life?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, it's like, I feel being human is like, it's always easier to look at your regrets or like to think badly or like poorly about things that you've done, because it's just easier to home in on them, because obviously they're usually like a little bit more devastating, or something that you did, it's so much more memorable, because I think just because it sticks out and you're like, oh, this is how I fucked up. So it's always easy to dissect the past, but it's like at the same time, it's like you can't get to this point in my career without all my mistakes. It's like all the stuff that like maybe held me back from like having those like a superstar contract, or like hitting like, or maybe even like ways that I sacrificed my snowboarding and like had bad years, is the reason that held me down long enough that I like maybe didn't have the opportunities where it's like I would have switched to a bigger sponsor, where maybe like I would have only had 4 or 5 years with them, and then they would have saw me dip off again and have like a bad year or two, and then my career is over. So it's like the like grace of mediocrity through like some of the bad years, and always being able to snowboard good enough that like no matter what on the day I show up, no matter what I have done or what I'm going to do, it's like I show up on the day that I'm going to snowboard, and I snowboard as hard as I possibly can. That's like always how I want to do it. And I think that's like, if no matter what, like even if you're young, it's like on any given day, it's like if you show up, it's like people know. It's like it doesn't matter if you know, if you did get drunk the night before and you're going to show up to snowboard the next day, it's like still snowboard, you know. It's like don't show up to be a pile. It's like show up because you can, you know. So I think like that, and then just yeah, I mean, there's always regrets, you know. But I didn't get canceled, which is crazy. But,
you were way before being canceled was a thing.
I think I've slipped in like the lucky years of like cell phone technology not quite being being at where it is, where it's like no one was really filming stuff with cell phones and like that kind of stuff. So it's like crazy dumb shit you were doing wasn't like constantly being documented, you know? It's like now someone goes to like climb a building and tear a Canadian flag off of it. It's like 3 phones would be on you. Like, you know, like that doesn't.
I say anything in the city now is pretty much being documented.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a different world, but yeah, if I had to go back, it's like, you know, would I drink more beers? Probably. Would I, you know, try and go bigger? Probably. Would I, you know, but I would have done a lot of things, but it's not what I'm doing then. It's like, still, I'm like, you know, do everything you want to do. It's like, the older you get, the harder it is. So it's like, if I didn't drink beers and do drugs and go huge when I was in my early 20s, it's like, I maybe would have never known what that really felt like. And it's like, now that it's, you know, I drink beer or have a big night every 4 months, and it's like ruins me for 3 days. It's like, it didn't feel like that back then, you know? It's like the air stone, you know, and the big airs, they also, my back hurts. So it's like, you know, it's like knowing the grace of when it is easier on you to be doing it is also super enjoyable. And so I think it's a give or hell scenario.
I like that, like, kind of enjoy the roadmap, you know what I mean? Like, you get to where you are from your mistakes. Don't just sit there and dwell on them, you know what I mean? Like, you could easily bring up everything that you've done wrong because you as an individual has hyper-focused on everything that you've done wrong because humans are really good at doing that. We're hardwired to think about our mistakes too much, but really that's in the past and you should be moving forward. I like that. Did you ever have any awkward conversations with brands? I think that I need to specify here to people that didn't follow or a little bit younger that didn't know Dustin's career that much, but Dustin was like prodigy, one of the biggest, and he did a lot of cool things throughout his career, especially staying on brands like Capita and stuff like that for such a long period of time, which I'm imagining there's a lot of companies that would have had a lot of interest on with you back in that time frame. Did any brands sit you down and try and like shape you into a different person? And the reason why I ask is because during that era, I had Andreas Wig on the podcast a long time ago. Forum sat down like, you got to be more like this, you got to change like this. And I feel like those were normalized conversations for team managers to have with athletes. Is like, you're not meeting our criteria, we need you to be X, can you change? And you riding for some of the biggest companies, Oakley, Red Bull, did any of those conversations present themselves?
I mean, like Blue, the owner of Capita, like he obviously dealt with my shit for the longest. I know for a fact, like I got some emails from him in the past. We definitely had some like talking tos and stuff, but it's like the biggest ones were like, I've been fired by more companies than people will ever ride for. So it's like you pepper like one of those into every like 3 or 4 years, and it's like, you know, like I've lost so much, and it's like those are the wake up calls. You know, it's like mine went below conversation point. It's like you're done. It's like, okay. It's like I don't know why I've always been fortunate enough that it's like snowboarding's always picked me back up. There's always been someone there that's like knows me for who I am and works at the right brand, and it just like extends that olive branch to like bring me to keep going. Obviously, yeah, it's just that too is just like there's been hard years, you know, there's years where it was great, and then there's years where it's like, oh, it's like, do I need to stop because it's like I lost these deals and like I'm not really making money. But I've always just kept snowboarding. It's like, and if I keep snowboarding, it seems like there's always an answer. And it's like, that's like the true beauty of it. It's like my answer to a lot of my problems is snowboarding. So that's nice to have.
Have you ever wanted to quit?
Not, I think like I'll never quit snowboarding. It's like I never understood people that just like stopped their professional careers and then like don't snowboard anymore. It's like, that doesn't make sense to me. That's like, I think like you're fucking nuts. Like, what did it do to you? Like, did it take you out back or something? Like, I don't know. Like, this is like, that sucks, man. Like, you're just going to walk away. But, always snowboard. It's just, in the capacity of what you can do it is like, what's the hardest? It's like, it's yeah, like thinking about quitting the like professional side of it, and it's just like, you know, like that huge pillow liner like that, it's not really worth it. Like maybe it's not worth it anymore, you know. It's like you don't have to do it. It's like, and it takes something to like to want to go like 80 feet is like there's got to be something at the end of it. And it's like that is a professional career, right? It's like that is getting some money and some backing and like being like, oh, I'm out here for a reason. It's because I'm the guy that goes big. It's like I got to keep going big if I want these small paychecks. But yeah.
Do you feel that kids are less incentivized to go big? The pros are obviously, the super pros are supported in ways with financially to incentivize them to go past that 80-foot marker to hit a Chad's Gap. But do you think with the ever dissipating snowboard paycheck for AMs and newer pros and that getting smaller, that we're going to see a digression in progression?
I think I think so many pros that are so good at like being such good like snowboarders, you know, like an Arthur Longa, like not that those guys don't go big, but like Arthur Longa or like a Blake Paul or like these guys that are like they're artists on their snowboards, you know. It's like they ride so exceptionally well to like their craft, and they are getting the big contracts, you know, and it's like people are like really into it. And so I think it's easier coming in and you're like looking at like, you know, like our era of like just going big and trying to find the biggest jumps possible is kind of like we had so many of us that they were getting paid for that it like now is a switch over and that's happening. So I think it's easier for the kids to look and to be like, well, this is what's getting money. It's like, why am I not just riding mini golf and stuff? And it's like, you know, but there was that void of like that ride needed to be happening. And now I think there's about to be a void of like the other snowboarding where it's like, you know, like I love Jared Elston because it's like, man, like kid's just like, he wants to go big, you know. It's like, that's refreshing to see where I'm like, man, you're young and you just want to punt off anything, you know. It's like, that's sick. Like, I love that. Like, you know, like Mulder, you know, like watching him in the natural selection contest, you're just like, man, you're young. And it's just like, I'll just point it, like I pointed out like a 40 footer and he's just like, okay, boom. You know, it's like, sick, like that. So I think like, it's just timing in the market and like what people think they need and they don't need. And I think there'll be a resurgent of, those guys like ripping super hard, and I hope the money comes around for them. But yeah, ultimately it's like their choice. But like with Mateo, it's like when I'm out there, it's like I try and push him to go big because he can go big. You know, it's like he's like, oh, I'm just gonna do this. It's like, well, don't do like, you know, it's got to be bigger. It's got to be better. It's like it can be, and it's like you got the skill to do it. But it's definitely like even the year that we filmed together and stuff, it's like he's not getting any money. Like he's not getting like any financial support. So it's like it's hard to see what it's for, you know. And then the next year he's on like 3 catboard trips and a heli trip to Alaska. So it's like, okay, well, it seems like it was for something. And then it's like, you know, if he has another good year, then it's like, and then maybe he gets this contract and it's like, okay, well, like maybe riding gnarly did work out. It's just like, I think it's hard to see the golden ticket in it because you have to put so much mentally and physically into it before you get to that point of earning the money.
If you were a team manager, what would you look for in a rider right now?
Yeah, I think like riders that want to travel and be like, you want riders that are like good at being at their ski hill, you know, like good at being around, like they could go to any ski hill and rip the shit out of it. It's like, that's important. You know, it's like, you want to be able to be on a trip and it's like, it doesn't matter what's going on. Your riders like can do anything, you know. It's like, oh, they like the day is calling for side hits. It's like they're gonna rip side hits. It's like, oh, the day is calling for a triple kink. It's like they're gonna ride it, or like, you know, that kind of stuff. Or it's like, oh, we're going to Alaska. It's like they're gonna punt. Like, you know, it's like a Nick Baden or like those kind of guys where you're just like, wow, they're just like crazy good at everything. But it's like they're also just like, I feel like their vibe of like when they're out there, when you see them at the ski hill, you're like, this guy's ripping hard, but he's like having a great time. And I think you can see that in which riders that's doing that, and you can tell which riders are just like trying to do it.
What are some of your favorite ATVs of all time? You said Nick Baden there. That's a great answer. But I mean, yourself, I mentioned that on the intro there. One of the Canadian great ATVs, but you got any other names that come to your head?
Oh, like I always think of like if it was like the GOAT of ATVs, it was like Pat Moore maybe would have been, because like that guy did everything all the way to the very end, you know, and then also a great ATV, Jed Anderson. Like a lot of people don't know, because a lot of people don't know about us being young, but like I remember just like Jed did a half pipe contest, and it's like last hit. It's like he like when he rode pipe, he just looked like he didn't want to be there. He was like so relaxed. You're like, oh, is he? And he's like, he would do like, you know, good, like awesome tricks, and then just lands, and he just did like a cab 9, like tail grab or something like that. I just stomps it. I'm just like, this kid's fucked, you know, like he is the best. It's just like, it's just how he applies himself. So it's like in the end, he only wants to apply himself to like his street stuff. And that's the same with me. I only want to apply myself to backcountry stuff, but it's like, there's great riders that have been, you know, Arthur Longo, like how good he is at half pipe, and like he does double corks and stuff. It's like now everyone's just like that he's a crazy ski hill rider, but he's done it all. It's like, but yeah, my pick is Pat Moore, number 1.
Yeah, he's a insane ATV snowboarder mentor over the last couple years. How important do you think mentorship is now that you're in that role? Whether you like it or not, you fell into that role. I don't know if you placed yourself there intentionally, but you have been a huge mentor for the next generation coming out of Revelstoke specifically. How important is mentorship? Did you have it back then?
I think like every older guy is just, you know, waiting for the right kid to touch. And Mateo just happened to come around the right time in my life, you know, that it was just like, you know, it's just like I watched him maybe do like 3 or 4 runs one year when he wasn't even, we went on a trip to Chatter, and like, he wasn't even invited. Like he just got drug along, like through people that I know. And, you know, just like, I was like, okay, like now I just got this like tiny little kid with like I'm wrapping up like one of my best years I've ever had, like, oh man. And it's just like, you know, we just have like on this crazy Chatter trip, we just have this little like 21-year-old, you know, it's like, and he's like, he's from Canmore, but he like, I swear he was like from Italy or something. I'm like, this kid's like, cause he's like, they're blazing and, you know, just like mumbling and stuff. And he's not confident at that point. So he's like, probably when I'm talking to him, he's extra mumbling and like being quiet. Who the hell? And then, you know, I watched him do like 3 or 4 runs, and you're just like, oh, this kid's got it. You know, it's like a Blauvelt, or like, you know, it's like I've been around the greats, and you see how they ride, and it's like, for me, he had it. It's just like, oh, dude, it's like, I don't need you to do an air. It's like I can watch you go down a run, like, you know, like that's good enough for me. And I think like that, just seeing that, it's like, you know, Causey had that, like Blauvelt had that, you know, like these guys had it where it's just like, it's just different snowboarding, you know? It's like, it's an extension of them, and they like do it a little bit differently.
Yeah, that man, just to quickly plug there, that front 7 that you filmed, the Ender, I believe.
Yeah, so that's that day. Like my first day ever out with Mateo is like my last shot in the video, and then he just rides like some smaller stuff off to the side and did like a back 3. But I was just like, I remember being at the top, and I'm like going for that front 7, and I'm like, I look over at Mateo, like he hiked up behind me, and I'm just like, you all good up here? He's like, yeah, I got it. And then I'm just like, I do that trick, and then he just like hikes up higher and does like kind of just a sweet flowy line. He's confident, you know, like that's pretty thick. Yeah.
What are some characteristics that maybe unknowingly you were looking for in a rider? And I ask that just so that if you're a younger kid and you're listening to this, what are some qualities that maybe you should have if you're looking to seek out some mentorship?
It's also like, for me, it's like, I want to keep snowboarding, and like, you need like, the best snowboarder you're going to be is if you have someone around you that is like pushing you. So it's like, Mateo is such a good snowboarder that it's like, and we're very different snowboarders, but it's like having him around, you know, like helps me to like we're building, like, I don't necessarily want to build jumps, but like Mateo's there. So it's like, we'll build this jump. It's like, I'm going to hit it probably, you know, it's like, so like that. Yeah. Just like he helped to push me in certain ways. And then it's just like, it's nice to kind of have just someone to push too, you know, you're like, man, you got it. It's like, let's get it. You know, it's like, makes it, just builds up the moment. It's like, you spend enough time out there, like for yourself, and like trying to, you know, film these like, oh boy, oh man, or like these, like my best years I ever had. And it's like, I'm so focused on myself, and like that I'm trying to like get this like glory moment of like, you know, that something's at the end of it that's bigger than I've ever had, but it never ends up that way. So it's like, how do I get to share like my time and stuff spent with Mateo is like, I get to see the value in like his success and like be a small part of that. And then like knowing that he's going to have a really long career is like very meaningful to me.
What does like chasing this full fairy tale part look like? You know, so many of us year over year chase to film this like amazing video part, to only be disappointed year over year over year because we all want to do better. Explain that like thought process to people.
I mean, like
why?
I just think, well, I've been fortunate enough to like get a lot of accolades and like win a lot of stuff over my career. So it's like, it always probably goes back to my competitive background of like, even though it's not competitive, it's like there are awards for, you know, backcountry riding. It's like, so it's like rider of the year, footage of the year, those kind of awards. It's like that in my mind for like those years of, oh boy, like, oh man, it's like, oh boy, like went hard. I went hard and I kind of thought like, you know, like we made a great movie. It was a good year. I didn't think that I'd be like rider of the year, but it was like, oh, maybe we'll like be nominated for like short movie of the year. We like had like 600,000 views on YouTube. It was probably like the most watched. Actually, I'll maybe back up on this one. So it's like after I'd lived out on the coast for quite a few years and filmed with like Mikey Arrow, Benji, and a lot of the guys around here, and always was just like kind of chasing that dream around here. And the dream around here is like, it's kind of being done, you know. It's like you're not going to be like, kind of my realization was that like at that time, like, well, Devin was the best at it, you know, and then it's like everyone's trying to be Devin. And then it's like during that time for us, it's like 2011, 2012, Mikey was the best at it. And it's like no one's going to do it better than Mikey is at that moment. And it just like, we're literally driving around all winter, like just hitting Mikey and UC's like jumps, you know, like we're just rebuilding and trying to hit it. But those guys are like, even when you see their video clips, it's like somehow they built the lip like 3 blocks higher and it looks better and it's filmed better. And it's like, you're just kind of chasing. You're like, well, if I keep chasing this idea of what I'm supposed to be as a snowboarder here, it's like, it's never going to happen because I'm just going to end up trying to be Mikey Renz or Devin Walsh or like something like that. So like my draw was always like, I love pillows and like that kind of stuff. So moving out to Revelstoke, it's like kind of like was the first time that I ever like feel like I truly in my adult career made a decision for snowboarding that was like, this is 100% mine. I moved there. I didn't really know anyone. Like I bought a house without like, just before I even moved there. It was like, I'm just doing this. It's like I bought the house. I'm like, I'm moving there. I don't really know anyone. It's like, that speaks to the snowboard community where it's like snowboard communities exist everywhere. It's like, if you love snowboarding, it's like you can move anywhere that is a snowboard community. It's like you're having friends in a little bit no matter what. And I'm not like, for sure it was like slow at first, but I moved in that first year. Like Kazu asked me to film for Kamikazu, and he just ended up moving into my house that year, and we filmed that whole year, and that was like huge. I'm like, okay, this is the start of like that next chapter of my career and stuff. And we had a great season, and then it just so happened, like for reasons that I've never found out, but at the end of that season, that was when I got let go of from Capita, or like Blue was taking me off the pro team. After being with the company for 13 years, it really did feel like that was the end of like my career almost, you know. It's like, how do I live? Like Capita was my identity in so many ways that it's like that was the end, and it kind of felt like the end. And that next year, it was like Blue just made a deal with me. He's like, hey, I'll give you a couple dollars. You're still off the pro team. You just live in BC and just do your thing or whatever. It's like, that was kind of like after a long road of long talks and a lot of emotion, that's where we ended up with like, just, you know, here's a couple dollars to do your thing. And that year I didn't film. And that was like, I actually just ended up doing so many runs and like snowboarding a ton. And it was just like, you know, is this over? And doing runs. And it's just like, you can only do so many fucking runs before you're like, I want to go big. You know, it's like you get back to that place where you're like, I'm not hitting, like, for sure I'm doing stuff and like hitting like little pillow lines, but it's like, I'm not getting that like adrenaline ping that I've been getting my whole career. So it's like coming to the end of that year, I didn't really do anything. And then I was coming into the next year and I'm like, hey, like I talked to the team manager at Capita and I was like, hey, like I want to make this movie. And he was like, no, we won't support it. And he's like, what we should do is just get you and Causey together. And I'm like, why? Like, I drug Causey around the backcountry. It's like, I've done the work. It's like, I'm just asking you, like, give me a little bit of money to do this project. And they said no. And so that was the end of like my partnership with them. I made the final decision. I just was like, hey, this is it. I'm going to ride for Yes. And, like had kind of like my goodbye phone call with Blue about it. And, Yes didn't even know I was going to ride for them. I just called Roman and I was like, hey, like, send the boards. Like, let me know when you guys can figure it out. Like, I'm just going to ride for you guys. And so I started riding for Yes. And they same thing. I was like, I'm going to make the movie. And I was like, well, my sponsor before, they also like weren't going to sponsor the movie. So I was just like, let's put the Yes logo for free in the movie. I'm just like, I have to make this look like this is on purpose and they wanted me or what kind of deal, so that this feels organically in the end that it's like they were there. And in the end, we made it all the way to like March, and then they just like found $5,000 and they were just like, here's $5,000 for the season. I'm like, sick, easy, done. So anyways, yeah. So then going back to like taking all that time off, and then Oh Boy, like we start filming Oh Boy, and everyone in that movie, it's like so special to me because like everyone in that movie is just like, Darcy Kelly, Tyler Lightfoot, those guys, like they're just construction workers. They're like, like they're just normal ass dudes. They don't have any money. Like they're just snowboarding for fun. And so that whole movie is like me, who is like this supposedly superstar snowboarder that just lost his biggest, like one of his biggest brands his whole career. And then just like buddies of mine that I go snowboarding with. And it's like, I think that movie did do well because it's like, I think you can kind of feel that like general like vibe of just like, it's like feels like you're snowboarding together and that you are all together just like having a good time. But yeah, so that like, then I'm also chasing like my proven a point of like I still have lots to give. So it's like, that's the start of me like flipping from like this like facilitator of like, I'll take a Kazu out or I'll take Capita team out or whoever, and I'll make sure that they're getting shots and like taking them across the backcountry. And that was like me switching to like, I'm 100% with my friends. We're all capable. We're all trained in safety. And it's like, Darcy is like very similar rider to me. So it's like that inspired the chance of like, I have 100% confidence in him and he has 100% confidence in me. And it like really opened the door to like having the safety net to not be scared out there. So it's like, I think in that movie, you can instantly like start to see that. And I think that was like the build of like being selfish in some sense of like, these are my years, like that I really want it. Like I need to prove this. I need to just, like, why am I like that? It was my moment. Like I've been working hard to become a good backcountry snowboarder. And it's like, I do belong to be here, So working through that, and then like, yeah, like the goals that you set with backcountry, it's like, you have to set a goal, and it's like, there's this competition of like, these rider of the years, all this stuff. And even that year, it's like, I didn't think I'd be rider of the year, but it's like, I thought that maybe we'd even get nominated for like video, short video of the year. It's like they pick 6 videos. It's like, but our video also had like 600,000 views. It was like the most viewed movie of the year. And we didn't even get nominated for it. And I was like, well, how the fuck? Like, it's clearly a good movie. It's like, people are watching it. Like, people are watching the shit out of it. It's like, what's like it can't have been that bad. It can't have been that bad not to get nominated. So then I'm starting to just dissect. I'm like, okay, well, what did we do wrong? Like, where did we go wrong? It's like, was it because we were hitting kind of like some old shit, It's like, okay, so then, man year, I'm like, I'm not hitting anything that I've ever hit before. And like, I thought people would pick up on it, but it's like, if you actually watched that, like all my footage from it, I think 2 things in that whole entire video part I'd ever hit before in my entire career. So it's like all brand new stuff I found. All was like really hard work. All was like a lot of exploring. And then, yeah, again, just like, okay, well, maybe like that one felt good. I was like, maybe this will be the year that I get nominated for something. And then don't get nominated again. So then it's like, okay, so then you're like, shit. Okay, I'm not like, so that's kind of like took the steam out of that. But it was like those 2 videos was like the steam that it took for me to have the opportunity to get into natural selection. And then natural selection, you're like, okay, this big goal. It's like, I win. If I start winning these, then it's like, then I'm the big dog, like, but then it's like, no matter what, you always create this idea in your head that you're climbing this mountain and that when you get to the top, it's going to change, but it's like, it never does change. It's like, it all just restarts the next year. So it's like, it doesn't really matter. You're always chasing an invisible goal, but it's like, I feel like you have to set the goals. And then I'm like, the year that I probably don't set the goal, it's the year they'll nominate me for something. Like that's what's gonna suck. It's like the year that you like lollygag it and you're like, oh, like that was sick year. Fuck you guys. But yeah, it's just like the setting goals and chasing that, and it's just like I feel like you have to have something to chase,
I mean, Oh Man, Oh Boy, those two films in particular, you're riding out there with like a bunch of your homies, a bunch of them you listed off there, and a lot of those riders I don't think have ever been put on a platform that would have like got 600,000 views if you didn't put the hard work into just starting that. You know what I mean? Obviously, collectively, everybody made that happen. The filmer, was it Evan that was filming that
Evan
stuff?
filmed it, yeah. And then like the other biggest thing with like those guys, it was also like Keith Martin was with us that year. Those guys are all just hardcore shredders. But my biggest thing is like people are always like, man, you find such good stuff. And it's like, I always find stuff because like we go out and do so many runs. So it's like, I go visit those guys and like Darcy and us is like, okay, the snow's not that great. It's like, hey, well, we're going to go check out this. And it's like, I'm always on the hunt for like these things. And we're like out there doing runs and I'll be like, Darcy, I'm like, what, do you see that up there? He's like, no, we've never been up there. It's like, let's go look. Like we go up there and we find something new. Or it's like, we go to like, Darcy's like, I got this pillow field. And it's like, okay. And we like go to this pillow field and it is sick, this little one. But then it's like, it's the really big one that we ride in, Oh Boy, Oh Man. And I was like, I slid around the corner and I was like, Darcy, I'm like, that's sick. But like, this is what we need to be riding, like this stuff. Like this is like people's dreams, like they'll never find a face like this. So it's like, yeah, the best, it's like the people that I'm out there enjoying just general snowboarding with also want to be filming. So it's like, oh, this makes sense. It's like, we're all out here together all the time anyways. It's like, I don't have to worry about someone coming in on a flight and finding them a snowmobile and like making sure that they can get there. It's like, we're already out here banging runs. It's like, we'll bang a couple shots on the side.
I kind of like riding with that kind of crew too. Whenever I get to go home, I get to ride with like just my homies. And there is something about being with like your close group in the mountains that don't even need to be fucking pro snowboarders. And there's probably a certain energy around filming with those people that's exciting for you and exciting for them. Because you've filmed with Kazu, you've filmed with the best of the best. It's probably nice to help like if you're out there with Keith Martin, who's not a new dog, he's been filming forever, but like Keith and Darcy and like that whole crew, and they're probably super motivated because they're like, I probably don't say this to you, but they're like, fuck, I'm filming with Dustin. This is sick. Like I'm going to be in a video alongside this like long-term vet. And I mean, and a lot of those riders probably look up to Keith Martin in the same way, but it's an exciting project. And I think that the whole movie does give off that feeling. Like it's a bunch of homies who have gone into the mountains that all want to push their riding in the same way as hard as they can. And a lot of those riders have filmed pro level clips because of the opportunity to be in those two movies. And like, do you think that if they were just out there with their buddy, I don't think they would have rode that shit. You know what I mean? And so like for a lot of those like Canadian pros, Canadian AMs to get the opportunity to film alongside a professional movie and push their riding to the next level must have been a really special moment for them too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like even like Darcy, right? Like he did 3 years or 4. Like those guys were always making videos with Evan, like oil country and stuff, like local videos. It was just all friends and stuff. And then I kind of like did one trip with them and I was like, oh, I'm stealing Evan. Like, oops. Yeah, oops. And then like those guys, like obviously like love sharing with those guys. So like they came along for the ride, but it's like, yeah, Darcy definitely like, I know that how hard he pushed himself. And then it's like, when Darcy decided it was over, it's like, like he's done push. Like, he like hit the point where he's going to be a guide and he's like, I did it. Like, like
he did do it. Congrats.
Yeah, he did it. Like he like fulfilled his dream of like, yeah, whatever he had pushed for so long throughout his whole snowboarding for something that he wanted to be and be recognized. He like took the opportunity when it arose and like gave it really hard. And he like ended up, with like really good clips for a couple of years and a cover of Frequency, it's like he probably never thought he'd have a cover in his life. So it's like, yeah, it worked out, like Tyler ended up like Signal, I think gave him like a 2-year contract at the end. It's like he never got any support or anything the whole time. And then it's like, and he works hard and he's got a big company. So it's like, it was never about the money for him, but it's just like cool that it's like, oh, finally, like, even like a brand's like sticking up for me. Like I did a good job, it's like those little pats on the back that did make it worth it in the end for everyone. And then, yeah, I feel like with Mateo, it's just like, yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, let's get, like, as soon as you have the opportunity that it's like, dude, you're with me, it's like, you kind of like, you got to show up. Like, if you're not going to show up, then it's like, don't come out.
Like you were saying about the hangover thing, I don't give a fuck if you're hungover or whatever. If you're going to go shred, like, let's go shred.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an energy that maybe you bring to a crew without even knowing, or maybe everyone knows, but like from early days, if we e-break a little bit here, my first time really getting to witness you snowboard live a bunch consistently throughout a week would have been going to Superpark and seeing your clock in there and how serious you would take it, and then go out with you that night, see how banged up you would get, and then the next day be the one who's going the biggest on the hip or guineaing a jump. I thought maybe it would be kind of fun to go over a couple just random Superpark questions. Okay, here we go. Guinea pig lord of Superpark.
Oh man, there was
someone's got to hit those jumps
there
first.
was a couple of us. I definitely had my time. Like that was like when we went there, it was like that was like almost like a thing. Like we're opening these puppies up. Like we're getting ours today. Like we're the guys that show up and we're doing it. It's like Pat would definitely like hold off like opening a jump till it was like Craven's coming over in a rep and he's gonna hit berserker, or some stupid name you give him. And yes, like that was always important. I feel like Lonnie Kalk, he is an insane snowboarder and great air awareness. He was always like a guy that was like super into opening jumps. It's like there's always like every Superpark has its moment where like back then, because it was like those kind of jumps weren't getting hit all year, so it's like you showed up there and it was terrifying, and it's like someone would open those up or whatever. I think like my last Superpark I ever went to is like Pat, like probably like Bridges completely written me off as like that type of guy, and I like opened one and I remember he was so proud. He was like, Dustin just opened the jump on the far right run. Like couldn't believe it. Like, yeah. And then all the kids start doing like double corks and I'm just doing back ones. It's still fun. It's like, yeah, being the first to jump off something is fun because it's like you don't really know what's going to happen, but everyone has the skill level to do it. But it's like no matter what, I think like this also goes to like people with me, like when they're talking about a natural selection or something, when they're like, the course, and I was like, doesn't matter if you know the course, man. You get to the edge, you still gotta be the guy that jumps. Like, it's like still you gotta be anyone can do turns down to the lip and stop and be like, what do you think? It's like you still have to be the guy that dead soldiers it to the knuckle.
I remember Kevin way back hyping me up to go to Superpark when I was like a kid because he had gone to a couple the Nakiska one and then the Lake Louise one. And
there was two at Lake Louise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he was one of the park staff, and he was like, dude, the coolest thing is all the Canadians guinea all the biggest jumps. And he would tell me about like, I don't know, Scott Shaw and Dom Pelosi and stuff like that. And
yeah,
getting to hear
Jonas Hardingham.
Yeah, getting to hear of these legendary figures. Because a lot of them are park staff, man. A lot of the people who build those fucking jumps at Superpark or any jump around the world, the park staff's like the rowdy guy that you've never met that drives the cat is also like a fucking savage shred.
Yeah, I feel like it's usually like there's always one guy that works park staff that didn't make it as a pro and just wants to have a job so he can keep ripping. And that's the easy invite, is if you built the jump, I don't think Pat's going to tell you no.
All right, scariest feature you hit at Superpark.
Oh, I think Superpark 8 was I think I was 15, and there was like the big half pipe gap, which like I didn't end up hitting, but to go to the last jump, you had to go tuck and do a turn around the half pipe jump and then set up and go. And it was like a 90-foot table. And I remember just being like, trying it a couple times, and like my friends are like, Todd and them are like on the chairlift, and they're like, dude, you're gonna die. And they're just like, so, and like I just remember that air. It's like I just straight lined into it finally, and just like committed to a back one, like just like floated it. I think like knuckle blew up or whatever, but it was just like that. Like the biggest jumps that we'd ever hit before that in our entire lives were like COP's biggest jump. So it's like you're going from like a 35 to 90, and the lips the lips were probably 30. So it's like. Just being like, you're thinking you're so capable and just being like, you're a little kid and you're like, I got this, like the confidence is just like, I had a lot of confidence. So it was like, it was sick. But yeah, that was just like a pinnacle fear one.
How important, as a little derail here, is confidence to your snowboarding?
It's huge. Like if I show up and I'm not confident, it's like, it's hard. It's hard. It's like, yeah, if you don't have it, you shouldn't do it. You know, like at that moment, it's like you can be confident, not confident. And it's like, and it's reading into those moments. It's like, you know, if you're not confident in the snowpack, like snow or like what's going on or something's up with the crew or you're just doing stuff, it's like confidence comes in so many different layers. And it's like, but too, like having a buddy there that's like confident. Are you confident in like the worst case outcome, you know? So it's like making those decisions on that day too. Like where, like if I do jump, is it just my confidence or is it like also some of like my crew's confidence in us like dealing with this situation? And I think like if you lack that confidence at any point, it's like, it's okay to say no. But at the same time, it's like confidence is so huge because like when you do build confidence and there's confidence in the crew, there's confidence in you. And there's like, hell yeah. It's like, you know, like I think the greatest part about natural selection is the riding. And it's like everything else is kind of bullshit and does like really grind my gears and is like hard to deal with. But then on the day you get to see everyone ride and it's like, I feel like what it must have been like to film with Travis Rice back in the day, because he put the confidence of like the safety net, like everything, and he took the best riders and he gave them a situation where it's like, hey, you just like we show up and we're just snowboarders and we're like hitting the biggest shit and it's like your safety net's 100% there. We're all confident because we know we're like, you got the call up, like you're obviously one of the best snowboarders in the world. So it's like same thing goes for like the event. It's like every year it's like you go there and it's like the confidence is so high and and like the belief that you're like, I got called up to this contest because I'm believed to be good enough. And then it's just like the first couple runs coming up and you're just like, who are these guys? Like, these are psychos, you know? And it's like the confidence is there. It's like take this, like safety net's there. It's like, you know, like send the mountain, see what happens. It's like, you got this, you know? It's like that is so huge. Like confidence is so big.
Does your confidence get affected from other things other than your riding ability? Let's say if you have like life shit going on, does that fuck with your confidence and kind of derails things, or are you pretty good at, you know, if life shit's kind of going, can you kind of still rip and put that on the side?
I mean, obviously, like if stuff's going bad and you feel bad and like that kind of stuff, it's easy to tear yourself down and like destroy your confidence and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I've always found like so much of my snowboarding is like in the opportunities something is like really bad that you do go at snowboarding. You're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing good. And then you just like start riding and all of a sudden you're like, you re-see it in yourself where you're like, oh no, I'm good at this. Like I got this. Like this is an aspect of my life that like I'm driving this ship, you know? And it's like that like builds you back up to take that back into the shitty part of your life and be like, this is who I am. This is where I get my confidence from. And it's like, it's not there at the beginning, but it's like, man, 3-4 runs in, you're like, oh, like this stuff's easy. It's like this, if this is this easy and this is the hardest thing I do, that stuff at home maybe isn't that bad.
Did your confidence take a hit when someone like Blue removes you from the pro team? Like,
I didn't know why. And like the only answer I ever got out of him was that he had his reasons. Like that was his answer. And so I don't even know. I can speculate about why he did it, but yeah, you're just like, you know, it's just like, yeah, you have so many whys, you know, and you can't solve them. So for sure, it kind of just like tears you down. You're like, okay, it's like, well, he's telling me I can't be a pro snowboarder forever. It's like, hey, what am I going to do? It's like, you know, he's telling me that like, maybe I should like move into guiding. It's like, okay, so like, am I not a good enough snowboarder to like, I'm not good enough to be on this pro team. It's like, am I done? You know, it's like, so it's like, for sure that destroys your confidence. But then it's just like, again, it's like, you can't let someone dictate your career. It's like, I started snowboarding so I could tell everyone to go fuck themselves. It's like, you're telling me to get fucked. It's like, I'm just going to go snowboarding. It's like, probably like, you know, it like blows up in your face. Cause it's like, you telling me I can't do something, I'm going to do it harder. I'm probably going to do it better. It's like, that's, you know, obviously, you know, that's good drive. It's just like, it's probably, you know, it's obviously I think me and Blue probably wish that things went differently. But like, what if I had another 7 years if Blue didn't, you know, push that final button that was like, you know, like, what are you doing? It's like, you're not good. Like, you're not doing it with us. It's like, I'm going to do it without you then. It's like, it's like maybe that was the push. That was the kick in the ass that I needed to like become the guy that I am now. It's like, so, no, like you can't, that's like the regrets thing. It's like, you can't have the regrets because it's like, that shapes you, it's like, that gave me the motivation to be like, fuck you.
I mean, my favorite thing is when you packed your bags, bought the fucking house in Revelstoke, you meet this group, and to me, that's when your snowboarding went from being great to something special. Like, as soon as you moved there and you started doing switchback 5s into pillow lines, switchback 1s off of pillows into lines, like ollie cross court, back 3 out of a fucking pillow, ollie off of a 50 fucking foot cliff, and then thread the needle with a million pine trees. I was like, dude found his fucking lane. Like, I mean, growing up, I feel like the quarter pipe hip Superpark thing was your lane. I feel like you chasing the Devon thing was a thing that too many snowboarders have done with their career, and they left it at that. They chased trying to be Mikey. They chased trying to be fucking John Jay or fucking, and it's been done. Fucking you moving to Revelstoke was one of the most refreshing rebrands of a person snowboarding I've ever seen. Austin Sweeten had one of those. Like, you moved there, and it was just, I was like, holy fuck, this guy doesn't miss right now. Yeah. Everything you were doing in that like window when you just moved there was just like, every time you would film a clip, it was like, and there weren't a lot of people that were riding like and doing tricks into pillow lines yet. Like, you were a part of that. Like, there was a group in Absinthe that had been doing tricks into pillow lines. It's been happening forever. Yeah. But like, consistently throughout a whole part, that rowdy approach was something special and unique to Dustin.
Yeah, I think like too, it's like it's like, if you're chasing that Whistler dream, it's like, then like back then we were hitting so many jumps, it's like then you're just chasing double corks, and like double corks just never really like clicked for me. And you're just like, I'm like, oh, I can't do these tricks. And it's like, you grow up being a contest rider, and it's like everything like all sevens, that kind of stuff. It's like I can land those anytime, almost anywhere. So it's like, it was easy just to take that to like, well, like these clips that you always hear about, that everyone's always like, oh, I wish I had more of that. That was like those pillow clips where it's like, oh, that one clip you had in your part was so sick, or it's like that kind of stuff. And it's like, why can't that be the actual meat and potatoes? It's like the stuff that everyone's like, whoa, that someone thought it was so cool that they had it mixed in with all these 18 jumps. They're like, wow, that one trip you did Revelstoke looked pretty sick. It's like, okay, well, like I'll just start doing this. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm a capable jumper. It's like, why wouldn't I start like doing front sevens into this stuff? It's like, it's just snow, it's like pillows are pillows. So they're not that like, it's not any worse than like ragdolling down like a super steep Whistler landing. It's like the most flips I'm ever going to do is like one, and then I'm at the bottom of the pillow field. It's like you fall on some big lines or some big jumps in Whistler. It's like you could do like 10 flips. So it's like, in some ways it's less safe, but in some ways it's just like more because it's more isolated. But yeah, it's just something I was very passionate about.
Would you say that the conversation with Blue was a low point?
Yeah. Like I couldn't, like I wasn't sleeping. Like I'd be like having nightmares, like wake up in cold sweats, like so stressed, maybe for like 3 or 4 months. Like definitely like, yeah, like I would definitely block it out, try and block out the bad. But yeah, I was like terrible. And then like, I mean, imagine an angry Dustin trying to understand something, trying to give you calls all the time. It's like, it's kind of hard. But Blue had this thing, which is like, the only time he'd answer his phone is on his car ride home. So that he always had a way to end the phone call, because it's like you just, like, why? And it's like, it was easy because he's like, hey, I just got home. Like, I got to go in with the family. Like, I'll talk to you later. So it was always like, I was like, man, he's so good at what he does that it's like, even then he has like an approach to like how to deal with, what's getting dealt with. It's like obviously what he does is like pretty amazing, is sick. But yeah, it's just like the little things in life where you're like, huh, it sucked.
Yeah, I'm imagining losing sleep over that. I don't think that there's a lot of people who have been in your shoes where you give something your all for I mean, when did you get your first sponsor? I mean, probably like 12 years old or something like that.
No, I was 15. Capita was my very first. I wasn't even sponsored by a shop in Calgary. Capita was my first sponsor ever. Yeah, and it was like I was at a jump at like a big air contest in Calgary, and I had like a Burton pipe dragon or a dragon board. It was like their pipe board. It was like their most stiff pipe board. I'm like wearing that, and I got for Christmas like an Oakley big puffy down jacket. This is like April, so I'm like riding this pipe board. I'm like I'm pretty sure I had like nothing on under it. I'm still just wearing my Oakley puffy jacket, like soaked in sweat, just like hiking the jump, trying to do cab nines. And I remember TJ came up to me at the bottom, was like, are you riding for Burton? I'm like, no. He's like, well, you should come talk to us. I'm like, what, like, who are you? Like, oh yeah, come talk to the guys at Capita. And then, yeah, TJ like fostered that and got me on there. And then, 13 years later, a lot of really good memories. A lot of like, obviously it's just like a terrible way for things to end. But like, man, like such good memories, such a good part of my life with Capita, and like really good memories, like awesome team. Like we did so much together and had such good times together. And I've had such great times with Blue, and like, like when Blue would tell stories about me with people, it's like, when, like a parent, when they like, you get older and then from when you were younger, they seem like they always tell the same one or two stories about you because it's like really sticks out in their mind. And they're like kind of do that dinner parties, and you realize that like over your next like 15 years, your parents, the best, like the long-term memories that they had of you were when you were around all the time. So it's like the part of my career where I was around a lot of the time and it had these like crazy memories with Blue. Blue had these funny stories, but it's like, we stopped at some point. It's like I grew up and we spent less time together, but it's like every time we were together, you'd always tell that like one or two like funny Dustin Craven stories for him, So it's like there are those moments where it's like that's so special to have.
Yeah. But fuck yeah, like we put so much into professional snowboarding. It's not like other people who master their craft at being like a doctor or computer, I don't know, an engineer or something like that, where you really do have 60, 70 years at your career. Like professional snowboarding at a high level, not for everybody, but most, it has an expiration date. And I think like we try to run away from that because for us in particular, you were done when you were 25. I remember 25, Griff was like, dude, we're getting so old. Like 30, you can't be a pro. Like, you can't be a pro at 30. Like it was just, brands were always looking for the youngest kid to hit these Superpark jumps and film the craziest shit. It's changed a lot, the landscape of snowboarding, and you can have older professionals market your brand because it resonates with an audience that's important that actually buys snowboards. But it is this thing where eventually you get old and you get a little stiffer, and it freaks me out. Like I'm riding the park and I still have it and I still love it so much, and there's still things, but there are things that are disappearing and I see them disappearing, and it freaks me out sometimes because I don't want to lose this thing that I've worked so hard to have, whether it's getting dropped or not being able to film the same tricks I wanted to, and just adjusting my snowboarding because I'm getting older is a thing that other people who master their craft don't have to go through.
Yeah, I mean, that's sports athletes, It's like we're not the only sport that does that. It's pretty much all sports athletes. It's like, unfortunately, though, a lot of other sports, they make a lot of money, for like for the point that they do, and they never work again. But just like even after like blessing in disguise after the whole Capita incident is just like I like after that really started to work as hard as I could to be like in control of like the dialect of like when I am actually done snowboarding. And so like everything I've done now is like to the point where it's like it's obviously great to make money, but if I make more money or less money, it's like I'm willing to work, it's where like, I'm willing to do the job in the summer. It's like that'll like to cover it. It's like at the end, it doesn't matter. It's like to me, I get to decide when it's like I'm done. It's like, how much do you guys want to give me? It's like, hey, well, it's like, if it's a little bit less, it's like, I want that one more year. I'm going to get that one more year. That means that I'm going to work like an extra month hard in the summer. It's like, that's going to offset that for me to be like, it was never your guys' decision to be like, oh, this is no longer like feasible for us. It's like, this is no longer feasible for me, And I think that's like, that's kind of the only way to finish. Cause it's like, I don't want to finish with like any bad taste in my mouth or like have those experiences again where it's like, why are you guys ending in this for me? It's like, well, you're not. It's like, if like I just signed a couple contracts, it's like I'll be 39 or 40 when I'm done now. And it's like, I'm okay with that. It's like, if that is the end, it's like, well, that's like my next 3 years, but it's like my next 3 years are like, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can and still deliver, because it's like those are my years. These are my years to enjoy the best snowboarder that I can be at the age that I am now. And I think it's important to like finish strong and be who you are and express that through what you love.
Does it ever freak you out that you're on the tail end of a career?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's just like, it's like, it gets depressing when you come home and you're like, was that it? Was that like, or you like do something crazy and you're like, was that it? Was that the end of my like crazy streak? Like, am I just gonna, am I gonna tune it back? Or is like, it's like last year at the end of the year, I did like my first ever backside double cork ever. And this year I didn't do a back seven. It's like, okay, like these 2 years are very different. It's like some people would be like, oh, you're on top of it. And then next year it's just like, okay, well, I mean, I got this next weekend at the Revelstoke Park to get this back seven. It's on my to-do list. I'm like, it's like, that's the contrast in a couple of years. So you're like, oh, am I really pulling back without knowing anything? Or is it just like different opportunities come at different times, and you just try and be the best snowboarder you can with what you got?
Are you somebody who's pretty good at listening to your gut when you're out there pushing yourself? You ride some fucking gnarly shit, some fully clocked in mental beast shit. Or do you just go fucking drop?
No, I definitely I'm a big look before I leave kind of guy. Like, my process is like, I'm not a very good like flow into a wild line and just let it rip kind of guy. It's like, I like really like to look around and stuff. And so it's like, I definitely like, I'll pull off. Even like me and Sage had a pretty like good first day filming this year, and it was like just this like one other panel pulled out on Sage, and then it was just like this pill line that I had like went and like cleaned up all the trees at the bottom like the week before. And it's like, like this is gonna be like one of my lines of the year. And it just so happened that it was just like that panel pulled out, and it's just like, I have a photo of it. It's like, you look at it and you're like, it's like the perfect pillow line, like ready to go. And it's just like, I said no. We were just like, oh, it's just like, it's not the time, It's like, thing will be there next year. It's like, sometimes you just have to follow your instincts and say no. And they're not going anywhere. It's like, even if you're not filming anymore, if like you really want to do like one big thing a year, it's like, you can always try.
Yeah, I think that's a really important piece of advice, that if you could take away anything from this, is that the pillow line will be there next year and stuff. Because I think many of us as riders, as enthusiasts of snowboarding, you get caught up in the moment where you want to ride the pillow line, but if it's not the day to ride the pillow line because there's a sign like something sliding, and kudos to you guys for pulling off that, because if it is a big fucking massive pillow line, which I'm imagining it is because you're Dustin Craven, but if those pillows all start sliding on you, and who knows where, I don't know the exact zone you're in, but if something propagates or something like that, so, and it's harder than I think a lot of people realize, to pull yourself off of something that you want to get a clip on. Because you as a rider the night before visualize it, you get excited about it, you realize what it'll do for your part. The little nod by your peers where you haven't seen fucking whoever, Ika Backstrom, in a while, and he shows up at your premiere and you get that line and Ika goes, dude, that was fucking sick. To people like you and me, it means the world, but there are times where you have to just listen to your gut and pull yourself off those lines.
Yeah, I mean, like, even too, it's like that same trip. It's like, I like put in the trail to this like zone that has like this. It's called the Spine of God. I think Giggy and Jared made it pretty famous, and it's like a line that almost like no one really gets it or whatever. And it's like I've waited my time. Like, I tried it once 7 years ago, and it's just like my time to ride it was this year. And I went there earlier in the year, and the snow wasn't right for me, but Jared still wanted to ride it, so I gave it to Jared. Jared rode it pretty good. And I was just like, I'm waiting for my time on this line. And it just so happens it was like 7 years, but we like put in the trail of the day, and it's like unreal snow and stuff, and then like put in the trail to it, and like kind of all ready to go, but it's just kind of snowing. It's kind of snowing just a little bit too hard to film, but like kind of tapering off, and it's like, like you're staring at this thing, you're like you want to go, and it's like, like, okay. And we ended up just being like, nah, you know what? We'll just leave it. So we like go home for the night and then come back the next morning, and it's like right off the truck, like sled straight in there, get doubled straight up to the top. Like that's my first run of the day. Like snow is like light's perfect. Snow is perfect. Like landed top to bottom. It's just like, like waiting that extra moment for it to be perfect makes that so much more special. It's like, I've waited this long. Why can't I wait I can wait another 12 hours for this. It's like, and I think like those moments of like realizing that patience is a virtue, and that you just got to give her when the time comes.
For all the peaks and valleys of your career, we got a Scandinavian bath pass for you, which I will give to you digitally.
Nice.
But have you ever been before? Do you like
I
that
have,
place?
yeah. We used to get they used to do weekend or weekday passes when we were younger. And so like you could go to Rutherford, and then on the way back you could like hit the pools and shower and stuff. It was actually like one of Benji's favorite things. I think at the time he was dating the daughter of the guy that owned it. So he would get Benji would get a free season's pass every winter. And it's a great place. It's nice. If you like hot, cold, and maybe some hot ladies.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, Scandinavian spa. Thank you so much for supporting the show. You know what? Let's Alaska. You've been before, I believe. I'm not sure, but I was reading an article that I found online recently that the first time you went to Alaska was with Gigi and Kazu.
No, my first time I went was with Danny and the Dingo TV show. So we like drove the RV up there. We went to Tailgate, Alaska, and like we're with the TV show, and like 3 sleds, like 10 people, like me, Danny, and Dingo. Like all of us slept in Danny's RV. So it's like people are like crammed in this RV, and me, Danny, and Dingo slept like above the cab, like 3 of us in that bed for like 14 days straight, like all shoulder to shoulder, a couple sardines, like, but yeah, true. And so we went there, and it's like, and it was awesome to do like some runs and like to see it, but it's like, it's like, I don't know, it's like being able to see what is there and not being able to ride it is like pretty hard. It's pretty painful. It's almost like growing up at COP and staring at the Rockies. It's very similar. You're like, there are the mountains, like I can't get there because I'm not old enough to drive myself there, but there they are. It's like, this is torture. So that was my first trip. And then my second trip was when we did the Union Stronger movie. I had sprained my ankle really bad on back 10 in my Union part. It was actually my first back 10 ever. And if you actually watch the clip when you land, you can see that I land in like a really awkward, like on my front foot, like super light into the landing. And it's because I'm trying to take all the pressure off my back foot. And so it's like 3 weeks later, like if I just did my boot up as tight as I possibly could, it's like I could stand on it. And I was like, I'm not missing out on Alaska. Like this is my first time. But then we get up there, and it's like, we drive because we're the sled crew. It's like, if you're a sledder, and then there's a heli crew and a sled crew. And if you're on the sled crew, they don't think you like to go heliing. Is how it works. It's like, no, you like you're B squad. You're A squad all winter. Now you're B squad. It's like, well, we'll see if you get called up. So like we're stuck in bad weather, and it's like me and Rusty had started taking our Xboxes traveling and then playing like Call of Duty Zombies all the time. So I was just like, it was like 23 days of like I'm gaming and chugging beers and like doing nothing, just killing time. And then finally the one morning, I can't remember what happened, but it was just like I'd like got pretty juiced the night before, and they're like, "You're going today, Dustin?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like, "Oh no," kind of like, "Uh-oh." And like I'm kind of hungover, and I'm like, "Okay," like get in the heli, we're like start flying out, and it's like we like do one G turn in the heli. I threw up in my mouth, like full, just filled with puke, swallowed it. I was like, okay, like those guys, like also if you're B squad, you don't get a window seat, so you don't get to see any of the lines. So you got something picked out. It's like, sure, yeah, I'll figure it out. And then I remember just being like, getting dropped off, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, like," and everything's bigger in Alaska, but they don't tell you that either, And so I was like, they were like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "What about that?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I think Manuel Diaz like hit that once." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, okay. go to hit it and just like launch off the end, just like dead soldier. It's like 85. It's like one of the biggest cliffs I probably ever hit. No one even Dano Pennygrass was our photographer, and he like took a photo of it, and it's like it's cropped where you can only see like 5 feet of the rock compared to like the 60 of it. Like, because he didn't even think that I was like no one was thought that I was actually hitting this thing. And just like fly, and I just like fly like just straight to my back, like bomb hole. Come down, I'm like, holy shit. And Giggy's like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, dude. I would have done different turns if I knew you were gonna come off that. And I was like, I wasn't landing that no matter what. But like, yeah, that was my first day, and I was just like, okay. And then I didn't obviously wasn't hungover the days after that, but that was my first like real time being out in Alaska. And then and still it was only, I think I did half a day of sledding that day in the heli, and then one day after, but the day after was like the day that Torstein and Breezy hit that huge ice gap. And so like we just sat on the glacier and watched that session the whole time, which was like, obviously if you get to watch the opportunity to watch like some of the best snowboarding ever happen in the world, and you get to watch that live from anywhere, it's fine, you know? And so that was, that was my real filming Alaska trip that I ever had. And then since then I've been up there twice with Natural Selection. Both times were like the 7-day window. I think the most I've ever got is 6 runs, including warm-up runs. So it's kind of like, I feel like haven't had my opportunity to actually be riding in Alaska yet, but it's on my before the end list. So yeah. Alaska is kind of a sore subject for me, because I was like, well, I had the money and opportunity to go there. I didn't. And now that I'm good enough to actually be there, no one goes there that wants to go with me.
No, Mikkel and Ben Ferg and Mark are all up there. You just gotta tag along with Bird and they'll have you.
Yeah. We got different budgets.
B crew.
Gonna have to sell my dog.
I don't think a lot of people realize that they're during like a film year, even if you're filming for like a legit project, there is like, it's not even talked about. There is an A crew and a B crew.
Oh yeah. And it's like when the A crew needs to get around on sleds, you get bummed up. You are A crew. And then when A crew needs to go helling, you are B crew. Yeah, that's funny.
In your words, what makes somebody a pro snowboarder in 2025?
Oh God, that's a tough one now. I think like if you,
because I feel like
I don't know, it's like, I mean, people always are like, oh, when you get your pro model, but it's like my first pro model was 4 years ago. So it's like, I remember sitting around like this fireside chat with Snowboarder once, and it was like, I clued in that I got 10 people there. I was the only one that didn't have a pro model. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, so then all of them got answered that question. They're like, when did you become a pro? It's like, you get your pro model. It's like, oh, this is news to me. This isn't coming down the pipe anytime soon. Like, am I not a pro? You know, it's like, so I always said when it's like, when it is your profession, when you like make the money to not have to work, it's like, that's all you have to do. But obviously the landscape of like money and stuff has changed so much. So it's like, I think if it's something that you can unequivocally do all winter and push yourself to the maximum of your ability and be financially stable with that, then I think that's like, you're a pro. It's like, you're doing it at a pro level.
What about like if you become like a YouTuber who teaches people like how to carve and you have 600,000 views on your videos? You know, the reason why I ask is to embark on a conversation around like, you know, the new landscape of snowboarding. Because I think the one that we idolize, like you mentioned before we were recording, that Vivid and Back in Black and these monumental films were kind of the holy grail. Like, there is a whole other lane of snowboarding. There's a whole other lane of snowboard brands. Everybody who snowboards now is starting their own companies and stuff, and a lot of them probably don't even know or follow things like Natural Selection or don't know who Terrier is and never heard of Jed Anderson.
You got to do whatever you have to do to live your dream. If making views is your dream, then like do that to the best of your ability. It's like, for me, it's like how much I put my body and like self on the line to be what I would call a professional snowboarder. Like, that's what makes it to me. It's like, what are you willing to sacrifice? And it's like, I don't think carving down the hill and getting views is like that big of a sacrifice. It's like, you're probably just really good. You're really good at probably talking to people and like doing that, and like that stuff does need to happen. It's like those like now it's on YouTube, but it'd be back in the day there was always like the ride guide or like those shows that were on TV that are just like is that general like that avenue always existed, but it just like now is like on YouTube and it's like just portrayed a little bit differently, and there's different ways to make money out of it. But there was always like that nerd telling you how to wax or like, you know, something like that. For me, it's like if I was gonna say what a pro is, it's like let's say if you walked into the natural selection riders meeting, it's like would any of them know who you are? Like that's probably the biggest group of pros in one room that I know about. So it's like that's your peers. It's like, are you like, you know, are those your peers, or is that the craziest room of riders you've ever seen? You know, that's the difference.
How important is respect from that community, your peers, to you?
That's all I got. It's huge. I mean, like, yeah, it's like at the end of the day, it's like someone else that's going out there and trying to do what you're doing, and like if they think what you're doing is respectful and cool, or respectable and cool, then those guys, you know, it's like that's cool. Like that's awesome that like what I'm doing speaks to someone that I maybe watch and think like they speak to me, you know. Whereas, yeah, sometimes I think like the other stuff just gets lost in the mix.
Is there a specific approach that you don't back or support?
I think like with something that really grinds my gear is just with how hard it is for people to make money and stuff these days, that if especially for like the younger guys, that if you're older and you're occupying space and you're taking money and you're not performing at like a level that like maybe even when you were like at some point in your career, you know, if it's like if you're kind of just like seems like you're just taking the money, I like that kind of stuff to kind of grinds my gears, because I'm like that like end of your career, like you're down to like, oh, you're making like $15,000 a year. It's like it's not much, but it's just like, you know, they still pay me because I can get paid. It's like that $15,000 could go to some kid that is their first ever snowmobile and get them out in the backcountry, and that could be the start of their career. So I'm like, how long are you going to milk this? And I also like think too, it's like the like money drying up too. It's like back when we talk about the glory days or when there was tons of money, it's like no one thought they were going to be older than 25 or 30 and that kind of thing. So it's like now you have like guys that are going 20 years. So it's like if I would have been done at 30, then like the hundreds of thousands of dollars that's been invested to me over the other decade, it's like that would have went to another rider. So it's like some other rider could have had like money the whole time. So it's like there are those of us that are taking cash to have these extra long careers. And that's why I think it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you're taking this extra long career, it's like for sure maybe at the end take your victory lap, but it's like don't just milk it to be like to like not have to get a real job. It's like if you financially after 25 years didn't put yourself in a position to be like comfortable, it's like that's your fault. That's not like someone else shouldn't have to pay for that.
That's fucking awesome. I always look at it too, like if you're getting paid to snowboard and it's evident that you don't love it anymore, that one grinds my gears the most. Like when you only film to get paid and you only film like if it's a thing, if it's fully a job and that's evident, and you're not just down to like, you know, like let's go up tomorrow and ride the park and like try this trick together as a group of friends. Like if that has no interest to you anymore, like I don't know, dude, like maybe give that budget to somebody else who wants the full snowboard experience. I'm not really down with people who they don't love boarding. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like whatever that is to you, maybe you don't like riding the park. Like I look at like someone like Mikey, for example, Rents. Like he loves being out in the mountains, lives for it. And I'm like, it's so evident that he still just fucking loves being out there. And I'm like, that there's so much value to that.
And he's facilitating, like Mikey's going out and he's facilitating those younger guys right now. And it's like, that's the other thing is like the younger guys, like it sucks because, and this is part of like me wanting to take Mateo out. It's like, if I don't show you these zones that I know of where they are, it's like, they'll never get ridden again. It's like that's the end of it would be me. It's like, obviously it kind of panned out that I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to slow down and Mateo would just take over. So it's obviously annoying now that I showed Mateo all my spots and then now we're not filming for the same project because now I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going there. It's like, okay, nice, good call. It's my zone.
Fucking smart.
yeah. Like this year, I had to tell him, I was like there's a place down south out of Revelstoke we always go to, and I was like, hey, just so you know, this day to this day, it's like it's a no fly zone for you. Like we're like you guys can go before or after us. Like I'm not having it. Like this is like I planned this week for me, and like that's it. Like that's just how it's gonna be. I'm sorry. So it's like it's like. But yeah, I think like Mikey's facilitating, like taking the kids and taking them to Mateo. And it's like, and if you don't, you got to show those guys where these jumps are. And like, cause it did happen for us, it's like UC went out with Mikey and like all the people taking out Mikey, all the greats, and showed him a lot. And then he built the confidence to go out and find his own stuff and like create another like exceptional step in that lineage. And for him, it's like, if he starts this and he takes these kids out, it's like, maybe, like this is the start of like, they're going to hit some of like the old boring crap, but it's like, if they're out there and then they get confidence to be out there, and it's like, then them looking around the next corner isn't that far. And like, maybe they find something that no one else did.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see some people, the next generation. I mean, I was never really part of that generation going to find the next biggest jump, but I'm excited for that to happen. And I think there's a couple kids right now, the younger kids showing up to NST and stuff. Sage, there's a group of them that
Sage is young.
Well, no, but I'm more more a group of riders that I think that want to hit some big shit.
Totally, yeah. I mean, like Judd's been out with Sage. Like he wants to just hit like monsters. It's like
Nils
Nils. I feel like Brock. Like these guys, like they want to hit big stuff, and it's like that's very sick. And it's like that needs to happen. It's like we need that. Like you need those awe moments. It's like. Even if it's like for those kids, it's like, man, if you want to stand out like huge right now, it's like go out, build the biggest jump you ever can, and like do a triple. It's like they all can do perfect. It's like, but just like that's like them learning how to like ride lines and stuff, which is like they're not going to do as crazy now, but it's like that stuff's going to come later for them. It's like, man, the best you are right now is like you just came from a crazy slopestyle background. So it's like with Mateo, I'm like, just do the double corks. He's like, I don't want to. I want to get better at the other stuff. It's like, well, other people want to do that. Just do it because you can, and then go ride the other crap, and you'll get better at that over your career. And then it's like you'll have the mix. It's like, so I think like, yeah, if you're like coming to that role, it's like, man, just like get out there and make your moment.
If you're a young kid, you want to have some good fucking 1080s. Like you want to be able to like. If you're hitting a jump with me and Dustin and you're 22 years old, yeah, for sure. Like do a switchback 7, you know what I mean? But it better be good as like, it better look like Freddie K. Like it better be absolutely flawless, but I want to see you do like a front 10 double tail grab and then save the switchback 5 for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like do something I can't do. It's like, show me how easy it is. Like, I want to see that. Like, it's like, it's hard for me. It's like, I can't do that. It's like, we'd be here all day watching me get my neck sore. It's like, let's just see you do it really quick.
I fully derailed from a couple more questions. These are going to be bullet point for Superpark, though. Gnarliest slam you've ever seen at Superpark?
I mean, like Superpark, that half pipe jump, Superpark 8. I remember standing on the knuckle of the half pipe jump, and Jonas and Kelly Skavanek hit it, and they were drafting each other in, and Kelly passed Jonas in the air, and because Jonas caught all the wind, and Jonas slammed in the knuckle, and Kelly made it. Like that was pretty savage. And then I feel like maybe it was Shalom Miller or someone had like a crazy one on the berserker jump at Mammoth, and they like slammed in the knuckle so hard.
I thought Shalom did the method on the hip, Shalom, yeah. And then he went to flat and collapsed his sternum.
What was his name? He dated Tora Bright. What was her? Jake Welsh?
Oh, yeah.
Jake Walsh, I think, had like a crazy hip accident. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best hand plant you saw at Superpark, other than your own?
Best hand plant at Superpark? There was like that at Superpark 12, maybe at Keystone, there was like that pillar dong. And Pat Moore did actually, Pat probably had like some of the best. Like Pat Moore, he did a frontside invert on that. But then there was also like a basketball net set up, and I don't know if he got it, but he was trying like backside hand plants on the hoop of the basketball net. Yeah, Pat's like, there's always a couple of us at Superparks that were doing hand plants, and it was like, yep, obviously Pat Moore was a standout. Bridges was a standout if you liked a guy that just made it to the lip.
Okay, standout moment from Superpark, other than Hardingham jumping into the trees. And I'm asking these questions.
I like this is a standout moment. Well, because Bridges loves this one too. So it's like, it's actually that Jake Welsh cover. There's like a hip with like all these barrels on top of it, and it's the cover shot. And I guess that's just my favorite moment at Superpark. One of them. Anyways, I'm like, we're all out of beers, so I like go down because I knew that Pat like had organized some beers at the bottom for everyone later. So I like zip down. I like convinced the guy that's doing sled shuttles. I'm like, hey, I need you to take me right now down to these beers. Pat wants those beers up there like yesterday, buddy. So the guy like doubles me down. I grab like two cases, like 2 30-packs of that, and then started down like side slipping down the in run of the hip and just like overhand tossing beers to like anyone. And I guess it's cropped out in that photo of the cover, but you can see me, I think, overhand lobbing a beer to Mike Yoshida, who should be shooting it up in the woods, like just launching beers. Yeah, that was a funny one.
Favorite trick that you did at Superpark?
I used to do like a ton of back 7 noses. No, obviously not my kryptonite, as we talked about earlier. But yeah, I did back 7 noses, and I remember just like rolling into this last jump at Keystone, and it was like I just like went so upside down and like laid my stomach out to the ground and like soared into the landing and just like stomped it, and like I just remember the whole hill just like erupting, like standing ovation. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Who's the best overall Superpark rider?
Pat Moore would be up there. Lonnie Call could be up there. I mean, they were after my time, but Hans and Nils, I think, were always really big standouts. There was those of us that like showed up, and it was like we all showed up to like ride as hard as possible. It's like, because back then you were finishing video parts there. It was that sick.
My first year at Mammoth, I was hitting a jump. I forget the name of it, but it was you, me, Nash, Kale, Travis Rice, Lonnie Cock. I think Charles White was still hitting it, and a couple others, Jamie Anderson, and then we got tapped out because the Art of Flight was being filmed, and you were still on Red Bull, I think.
Yeah.
Is that where you did the front 9 off the toes?
I did. Yeah, I did the front 9 off the toes. Yeah, like the heli was coming in.
Yeah.
So
Bridges was like last hit, Jody.
Yeah, like certain people just get tapped. It's like you got to put in the time with Pat. You know, you got to laugh at his bad jokes. And
did you see anyone get tapped out?
I've seen him yell at some people. It's like he probably doesn't like to talk about that kind of stuff, but he did definitely like. I've seen people get the boot.
Yeah, but I think that what he was trying to create was. Maybe I'll ask you that question, actually. What do you think Pat was trying to create with Superpark? And do you think that it was important, and should an event like that come back?
Yeah, I think Superpark was an opportunity for, Pat gave the opportunity, or Snowboarder did, for everyone to come out that like, back then there wasn't Instagram or like YouTube or any of this. So it was like the only time that it's like, it gave an opportunity for everyone in North America or Europe if they came over, but for you to see like, everyone, you know, like to see the next generation. And Pat had such a good knowledge of like what was going on in the snowboard industry that like for him, he was like, he knew which kids and they're like would listen to the team managers that are like, hey, like, well, DC, we give you these 10 spots, or like, you know, Capita, we give you 6 spots. It's like they pick their best 6 riders that they think are going to represent the brand at that event, and Pat gives them like their trust. But then maybe that case, Pat doesn't know who you are. So then it's like the fear of like being tapped or not tapped is that you have to go there, and then you had to ride hard enough to earn Pat's respect for that, like why he believed that they believed you were going to be there. So then it's like once you were able to cross that threshold with him, where it's like you were like one of his guys, then it was like you kind of do whatever you wanted. But I think it was Pat was just trying to create a space for people to be seen.
Yeah, for sure. And he definitely took you specifically under his wing. Why do you think he did that? I mean, when I think of Snowboarder Mag, when I think of Pat Bridges, I think of fucking Dustin Craven.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just I think just it all goes back to just like snowboarders want to snowboard, you know. And it's like me and Bridges and like Pat was into it for a bit, but like we had like a thing. It was just called low impact snowboarding, and it was just like we just go up the hill, and it's like something that only we care about. and we just like, it's like tail blocks and like sliding around on your stomach and like doing stupid stuff, and like had names for all of it. And it's just like Pat, that's what Pat really loved to do, because he was really good at it and capable to do it. So it's like, I just also love to do it. So it's just like, we always just had like this funny side of snowboarding that's like, no matter where we are, it's like we are at these events, but it's like crazy shit's going on. But it's like me and Pat could go burn like 12 laps of like just doing absolute bonkers crap that like is pretty stupid, but it's like, oh, you know, but it like, it just was really fun. I think I've always had that. But yeah, like just known Pat my whole career, and he's done amazing things for me, and like definitely has always had my back in a lot of instances. But yeah, I'm going like next week I'm going down to World Quarters, and like, yeah, I'm just like staying with him and stuff. It's like our friendship and like wanting to ride together is like, now it's like at that point where it's like, yeah, like where you don't always see these people, but it's like, if me and Pat get our like 2 or 3 days in a year, it's like, that's the world to us. It's like, that's as much as spending a whole winter together. It's like, as long as we get our days where it's like, we're going to go, you know, put a bunch of dents doing tail blocks in the Mammoth Park, you know, it's like, that's our thing. It's like, we're going to get our day of doing that. And then like, we'll probably go to the mini pipe and we'll get our day of like ham plants and doing the same crap that we've always done. And I think that's just like so fun for us that we just like really hold on to that, and it's endearing.
I love that so much. And I think that anybody who's listening to this right now can pick a rider where you have that unique bond, like your buddy that you love to fucking ride with. And you do have a unique approach with like a couple of your friends. Like I have some friends that like we ride the hill a certain way when we are together. And we kind of have not tail blocks, but we call it slooping. We go really slow and we just jump into walls and like dumb shit, nollie into banks. And like we have the same approach. And going on the chairlift and burning laps with those individuals, some of the best times you can possibly have on a snowboard.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think you gotta be able to fuck around. I think like that's the biggest thing about like being a snowboarder is like, just like the bad days, or like when it wasn't good. It's like, if you can still make the best of it and have fun, it's like that shines through. You know, it's like you're having a wicked time. It's like, it doesn't always have to be insane. It's like, sometimes it's like, it's bulletproof ice, and it's like, let's do tripods. Like, let's see if you can hold a tripod down an entire run without hitting someone, like kind of stuff, you know. It's like, it's still fun. You're just making the best of a bad day, because it's like, well, we're all here. We all took the time to be here. It sucks for all of us. It's like, how do we make this the best for this day to not be a total waste? And I think that's the beauty of snowboarding.
Okay, you've had one hell of a career, Dustin. 2 of your favorite clips that you've ever filmed.
That switchback 5 into the pillow field. It was that was kind of like when it was like, for me, kind of like mentally like stepped up to a different level. Yeah, just that you can do, just like that. You're like, whoa, this is like, you're kind of like, you're always watching like Travis or like a John Jay, like those guys. I like the guys that went big and like were always really good. And it's like when I did something like that, it was kind of like the first time that I was like this is on those guys' level. Like I'm showing up. Like these guys are gonna know this clip, you know. It's like people are gonna recognize that for decades, you know. That clip was really, really sick. And then what other? I mean, the clip with the straight line through the tree that you love, that always stands out in my mind. But like the crazy thing is, I was trying to back 3 it. So it's like I tried to back 3 it 4 times. And then the clip that you love was me giving up and telling Heiko, I was like, hey, I'm just going to go get a quick shot then. Like where like I didn't get it. I'll just like drop this really quick and we'll get out of here. So I just like do the melon and ride through the trees really fast. But it's like, that wasn't my goal of that feature, which is kind of funny.
Well, how scary was it to thread the needles of all, because you land and then you really start to pick up some fucking speed and you're threading through trees.
Yeah, I think like that was my exit strategy. I think it's just like, I don't like when you ride in the interior a lot and you're around trees, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm very confident in my edge control and stuff. So it's just like, it's like, if you look at it, you're probably going to hit it. It's like when you go into the trees and they're tight, it's like, don't look at the trees. It's like, look at the end, you know, you're like looking at the end goal. It's like, you're not going to, you know, it's like with surfing. It's like, you're not going to come out of the barrel if you're like looking at behind the, like trying to check out the back of the barrel. It's like, you don't want to be looking at the roof. It's like, you want to be looking at the light. Never go into the darkness, basically, you know. It's like the branches are dark. There's light at the end of that tunnel. It's like, that's the way you got to go. Yeah, I think just like throughout my years, it's like the closer you are to danger, the further you are from harm. And I've gotten really close to a lot of trees, but never got hurt.
Those are good picks. All right, here. I got 10 questions for you. Actually, before we get to 10 questions, what kind of advice do you have for the next generation that's coming up in snowboarding right now? We got a digital world going on.
I think it's just like, just push it. I think you just got to push yourself. It's like, you know, if you're ever doing something and you have to ask someone if you do it again, you should just do it again. You know, it's like, you just got to, you just got to, I think, push yourself and realize that there's like, I think it's like that Nimsy guy said, it's like when you're like 70% fucked, or like when you think you're 100% fucked, you're really only like 70% fucked, you know? You always have that little bit left in you that you didn't know you had. And when it boils down to the moment, it's like, you want to find out if you do have that in you, I think. Yeah.
And snowboarding, when you're trying a new trick, has exactly that. Like you were saying, the cab 5, cab 7, cab 9, you roll away from that and you're like, damn, like I'm one of the dogs. Then you go through some good years, some bad years, some good snow years, some shit happens in life, and then you switch back 5 into the pillow line and you're like, dude, I can still hang. It is tough. Similar to life though, you hit some fucking real big fucking hurdles in life where you question everything. But I mean, to summarize this whole fucking podcast, is it just seems like the one thing that you always lean on is just to go snowboarding.
Totally. Yeah. That's what drives me. It's like, another like word of advice too is like, if you start going big, then you always have to go big, because no one wants to watch you after you like set that height. It's like, if I do like, sometimes I'm doing stuff and I'm like, I'll do a pillow line and it'll be like, no, it's not good enough, you know? But I'm like, this would be in like the middle of someone's part. Like, it's just like, it's just not good enough for me anymore. It's like there's that standard. It's like you drop a cliff and it's like a smaller cliff and it's like a gibber would have this as their ender. It's like, for me, it's like, oh, it's like, you think you want that? You're going to put that on, would you put that on Instagram? Yeah. Yeah.
That translates into life. If you do anything to a certain standard and you make that standard your standard because you've done it consistently, boom, you're stuck with that. If you can do methods fucking crazy good and you do them a certain way, you start leaning away from that. You post one that doesn't look like your good one, people are like, oh yeah, he's slipping.
It's over.
Charles Reed riding fucking hips, the pressure that he probably had to go that big and back rodeo 7, the hip. It's like there is a lot of pressure when you become really good at your craft and then trying to maintain that standard. And sometimes, like sports, it's impossible to maintain that standard. And that's why snowboarding is such a fucking mental struggle, is because it's, you know what you're capable of. And so you as the rider, you always want to withhold that standard.
Yeah, I think also though, it's like, you have to do what brings you joy. And it's like, if going huge doesn't bring you joy in the end, you know, it's like, if you like to do more like techie tricks on like a side hit and you don't want to go as big as you possibly can off the side hit, if like one drives you more than the other, it's like, I go to the skeel and it's like, every hit I want to see how far I can ollie. It's like, that's how I've always snowboarded. It's like, but if that doesn't make you happy, it's like, that's fine. If you want to, you know, tail block and like swirl around like a Mike Rav or something, it's like, that's fine too. It's like, there's so many different ways to do it. It's just like, I think it's obvious when people are trying to push themselves to do something that makes them uncomfortable because they think that they need to do it because of a social standard of what the sport maybe is. Whereas it's like, I think when you see people ride that are uncomfortable in their lane of how they do snowboard and are comfortable and confident, then that's when they really shine.
Fuck, Dustin, write a book. That was fucking epic, dude. Okay, we got 10 questions here presented by Vans. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Number 1, best style currently and back in the day.
I just feel like we haven't talked about him, which is kind of crazy for so long, but my best friend, Charles White.
There we go. Let's talk about Charles White. What do you got to say about Chucky?
We've been to, it's just like, I feel like it's rare that you have like one snowboard buddy that is there the whole time. And it's like, I mean, it makes me happy, and it also depresses me that we're 36 and 37 and we're still living together. You know, it's like, But it's just like, it's just like, and that's too, it's just like the boarding. It's like, we were different paths and like do different things for work now. But, he'll be gone, but it's like, he comes home and it's like, as soon as he's home, it's like, we're going board until we can't walk. It's like, we're going out there. It's like, Charles is probably the best off the couch recreational snowboarder that has ever lived. Cause it's like, he'll be gone for, 2 months up north chainsawing and come back and we'd be like, for first day back, it's like, oh, we're building this jump. It's like, like last year, it's like, I think his second day of the winter was like him doing the first ever frontside dub he ever did in his life. It's just like, he just has it and he just like, he really cares about it, but he cares about it in a way that like, I think is like, like when you see someone's true passion just come through them and they're just doing it for the reason that they want to do it. It's like why people really like, when they are around Charles or want to snowboard with Charles, it's like because he's just there. He's present in this moment of snowboarding and he's just having as much fun as possible. And he is still pushing himself to a height that like some people wish that they could ever even hit. So it's like, that's just nice to be around, And I think that was like nice growing up because I'm so competitive and he's so the opposite. So it's like, I'm so driven to like set these goals and be like this. And Charles is just like trying to like set his own personal goals, but they're like, so just in a different direction than most people do that. And I think, he's like, we're still living in the same house.
I was always mad at Charles because I always wanted to see more. And you actually gave me that piece of advice long time ago. Well, you said 2 things that I often say on the podcast is you want me to continue to keep getting paid because I'm fun to have in the parking lot. I like that one a lot because it's true. You know what I mean? Once, like, you never know when you get to the end of a day, to bring this kind of full circle to the beginning of the conversation is you never know which riders, at the end of a sled day, you see everybody in the lot. You almost expect that crew beside you that you're having a beer with is just going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Be there forever.
And boom, then Benji Ritchie he's not on Billabong anymore. And Arrow and Benji and Ika aren't in the Brandywine parking lot anymore. And then Devin's not in the parking lot anymore. And then, it just people keep going away, but you never know when you're in the lot, when that's the last time you're going to see some of these people that are just like so fucking important to you. Which sucks because I take it, we're straying away from what we were talking about, but just because I like where this is going, I'm at an age now where when I get down from sledding, I take every day and I really try to like realize how lucky I am to be in that day. And I think Jeff's, that loss has only solidified that even more. Like I think with our crew, because we are similar to you and Chucky, we all are best friends who fucking hang out every day, and we realize how lucky we are and how many bullets we've dodged over the year, and we're like, we can't really take this for granted anymore. We need to move through the mountains safely, and we need to just realize how lucky we are to just be snowboarding in the first place.
Yeah, and I think like with the Jeff and Pashley thing, like even Mateo and them were going up to Alaska right after, and they were going to maybe postpone the trips. And I think like the biggest thing is like those guys lived for shredding. And it's like if the accident happened and it's like there's obviously like hesitation to get back out there and stuff, but it's like you have to get back out there and you have to ride, and it's like you have to enjoy it because it's like that's what those guys lived for that. And it's like in those moments, it's like where it's the hardest to go. It's like you have to go because that's why those guys thought snowboarding was so special. And it's like they would not want to know that someone didn't do a run for them or didn't like on their expense stop themselves from having fun doing what they love so much.
Yeah, big time. Even like Rusty was going to go up to Seymour for Jeff's thing, but Bryn had this line kind of mapped out, and obviously that day was really important, but Rusty is close with Jeff, and he was like, dude, Jeff would want me and Bryn to go ride this fucking gnarly line together. Yeah, he's as much as he's hyped that there's so many people who set aside that day to go to Seymour, he's just as hyped as Bryn fucking mocking down this line with his jacket flapping. Yeah, if exactly. Anything like that's super fucking Jeff Keenan.
Totally.
Like, yeah. All right. Next question here. Career highlight.
Obviously, like winning Baldface was huge for me. Yeah, that. Oh boy, oh man. I mean, like feels like a lifetime ago, but winning the shakedown was obviously very crazy.
2006.
2006. Yeah. Like, yeah, just like big moments, obviously like covers throughout the times and stuff. There's always some accolade that I've just been able to get. That's always like pretty spectacular that gets peppered in through there. That like makes that like year or two apart of like when they did happen, that it's like, it's a big reassuring moment. And like, you worked really hard and it's like, you did get something at some point that was like pretty special to like that point of your career. So it's like nice to have those things throughout where it's like, if I really took the time to think about a specific timeline, it's like I did have like some sort of like crazy career highlight during that time of my snowboard lineage. Obviously just like backcountry riding is like to me is like the riding that I've wanted to do the most my whole entire life. So getting to that level and then like pushing myself as hard as I possibly could to try and be on the level that all the best backcountry riders are, and maybe like feeling like I'm not being seen, and like kind of like getting to that point where I get into like this big contest and it's like I get to stand on top of the podium and be like, in a lot of ways just like feels like I'm being seen, like, hey, like I've been here the whole time and it's like I'm working really hard to this. It's like I'm capable of this. And I think just proving to yourself that you're capable of it. So, yeah, natural selection is one of my dreams and also one of my nightmares.
I think overlooked by some brands, but never the community is a good way to describe maybe that stint for you. There was a couple years there that maybe you weren't getting the same support. You didn't feel like you were involved with a brand that, a 15-year stint with fucking Capita, and then you don't have that, maybe the fucking brand side let you down. But the one thing's for sure is the fucking community of snowboarding has always fucking loved Dustin Craven. I look at the next generation and I'm so, it makes me feel so good when I see people that get it, appreciate and love you as much as I did when I was their age. Because I think that you are a very, similar to Jeff, similar to Alex, you are a pillar in our industry that is so important. And it's so nice for people to recognize that. Whether brands do or not, that doesn't fucking matter. The real people, like when a Jared fucking Elston and when a Blake Paul does and when a BMO does, like the next generation, the fact that they all value your riding and you as a person as much as I do makes me feel like snowboarding is fucking moving in a good direction.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jody. That's obviously very nice. And
I'm a super fan, buddy. Always have been.
Yeah, I think it's like I was saying, like to someone, I was like, "Oh man, I'm cool with the kids." Like that's like that's kind of like I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my extra couple of years because I'm cool with the kids." Those guys are the guys. They're on the trips and they're talking about Craven. It's like that's what I need right now. I need the right team managers to be like, "What are you guys doing?" It's like, "Oh, we're watching all Dustin's video parts." It's like, "Okay, perfect, boys. Thank you. This is a nice tee up for me." Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome to have that. And then like those guys, like, like Jared wants to be around me and go snowboarding with me, and it's like I want to snowboard with him. It's like having like someone around that's like sees that, like sees my value at my age is like, oh, I need, like, if I do a little time with Dustin, it's like it's gonna pay off. It's like I like that. That makes me feel so good. It's like, oh man, like my value in the end is like being seen by someone that wants to be and probably will be one of the biggest snowboarders of our next decade.
Yeah, that does mean a lot. There's, it means a lot for you as a person in the fucking world to be valued by the people that are in your community, whether that's fucking pottery or art or fucking hockey. When your peers who are the best look up to you and are inspired to ride with you, especially the next gen, that's the pat on the back that makes it feel like that last 25-year career was worth it. You're like, what? Like people still like fuck with me? Like this is dope. And you know what? You're a little bit of a package deal though. I will say a lot of those riders when they talk about Dustin, they're like, yeah, we're going to go hang out with Dustin and Chucky. And I'm like, God, you guys are inseparable.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
All right. One area of your life you'd like to work on.
Obviously, for current girlfriend and past girlfriends, I guess communication would be huge. Yeah, I guess like working on that, like sharing my feelings more and that kind of stuff. It's easy to hide behind things, and I think it's also easy to hide behind things when you have I have an outlet like snowboarding, so it's like I can hide my emotion and take everything to something and like put it all into something where it's like I can make it disappear. So I don't feel like necessarily like I need to share it all the time. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people love me and like spend time with me and stuff, and it's like it's not always easy to share how you feel, and sometimes it takes like an accident like what happened for to share with your friends and for everyone to say certain feelings that they've had for so long, and it's like sucks that it comes out in that instance, but you just kind of realize that it's like there's an open dialect there the whole time, and if you need help or if things aren't good and stuff, it's like all of us are in this together, and we're part of a snowboard community, and it's like there's like if someone gave me a call that I don't usually talk to, but like their name showed up on my phone, it's like I would probably answer. It's like this person is obviously calling me because they need to chat. It's like that's important, and I think I need to call people, and like be better at that.
Yeah, I could be better at that too. That's actually on my to-do list, is be a better friend, which sounds fucking harsh, and people are probably like, what, you're a shitty friend? But it's just I've got really busy in other areas of my life, and I speak about this at length and every other episode or whatever, but it's really hard to be good at the whole wheel of life. You know what I mean? Be good at health, be good at your spiritual side, be good at being a friend, be good at being a partner, calling your mom and dad, checking in with yourself, going to the gym, eating properly, like stepping out of your comfort zone. Like being good at fucking everything is fucking hard. And you tend, when you lean into one area of your life, you tend to neglect another area. And sometimes, and as of late, I've just like, I feel like I've been so busy that I haven't really been there for some of my friends. I don't know, just kind of calling myself out here, but
yeah, I mean, everyone gets busier. Everyone's like, the older you get, it's like you feel like you're getting busier and that you're the one neglecting it, but it's like everyone's in the same boat. It's like everyone sucks at something in their life, It's like we all have like things that like we could all, like no one's perfect, and everyone's going through that, and people have kids and people have jobs, or they're going through like, it's like some friends are going through, we're in ages like they go through divorces. I know other people that like are going to rehab. It's like, people are going through so many things in their lives, and they're just like busy and dealing with that. And then like other people are losing parents, or like you're losing friends. It's like there's so much going on that it's like, I think you try to be there in every way you can, but it's like to make yourself feel bad that you're not totally there isn't like a real fair assumption of it, because everyone's going through a lot of stuff. And I think when the moment comes for the organicness of being there comes, then it's enough,
Yeah. Do you feel that this passing, are you going to navigate your approach to the mountains or life differently?
From what I gather so far with talking to people, it's like that's just like a freak accident, That's just like how many times have those guys picked up in that location, It's like, there's so many things, but it's just like it's just the snow changing at the wrong part of the day with the wrong load on like a layer that, it's like, it's an accident. It's like, and it just sucks, It's like, I said to Leanne, it's like no one was snowboarding, like no one, like, it's not like it's anyone's fault or anything. It's just like, it's just a really bad day. It's just a really bad day for us, It's like, it's unfortunate, but yeah, there's just, it's easy to try and find blame, but it's like, sometimes it's okay just to be okay with what happened.
Yeah, one thing's for sure. There's nobody to fucking blame there. That is a educated crew who all knew and loved each other, and the last thing anybody should be feeling is the, yeah. I just feel like for me, like the couple days after, it's so hard for me to like not be more spooked out by like faces. And like Rusty and I were sledding to fucking Seagram's, and we were stopping in places we've never stopped, which is probably a good thing to like be a little bit more aware, but like holy fuck, we were both just like, dude, are you like spooked right now by everything? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's because it was too soon to the incident, but it's definitely in instances like this, it's really good to look at the way you're navigating through, well, life for that matter. Letting people know how you feel and stuff like that, but more so how you navigate through the mountains and, take your time and make sure you give
Yeah, I mean,
the mountain space and everything.
You could be fearful, and you could make some big changes, and then but that big change could also be the thing that is an accident. Maybe you guys stop somewhere 4 days later that you don't usually stop because you're spooked of that, and then something bad happens there because of that, and then people are like, oh, well, they never would have been there. It's like, oh, so it's just like, you can always just compound like what's going on, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's an accident. It's like there's going to be more accidents in life, and it is unfortunate, and that's just kind of it.
Most underrated snowboarder.
This is like my, like, because he's super old. He's not actually that old, but I think the most underrated, one of the most underrated snowboarders right now is John Jackson. Because he just was huge forever, obviously, and then just kind of lost his steam. But it's like everything that John's put out in the last like 2 or 3 years is like a 10 out of 10 for me. I'm like, this guy's not getting the, like, because he got so much love his whole career. It's like, this is that like one time where I'm just like, man, this guy is like next leveling it. And it's like, it's like goes back to that, like, you go big, you always got to go big. It's like, and he's just doing what he's always done. But then you're just like, the guy's like, he's getting up there in the years, and it's like, he's still just like 10 out of 10, like jaw dropping, like GoPro clip kind of style, like POV clips. And you're just like, okay, like no one's really talking about this. Like, like John could have maybe been rider of the year. So him, and then for younger guys, like obviously Mateo was underrated, but I fixed that. Underrated riders. Yeah, I don't like particularly, like, Revelstoke's so small, and then like it's so easy to get stuck in my bubble of like, I don't really actually know what's going on. Shady to say, but what's going on in like the snowboard world, So I feel like there's tons of underrated riders. Probably like, actually, Jack Dogs. I feel like for a guy that, like Jack McDougall, I feel like for a guy that's like, he's got it. He's the full package too. And I just feel like there's obviously a lot of guys that are like trying to make it out of the whistle right now. And I feel like he's kind of just getting overshadowed kind of a tiny little bit and get bumped into the back corner. But I think he'll have his day.
Fucking right. That was a good pick. All right. What keeps you up at night?
Travis Rice. No.
Close your eyes, start falling asleep. Travis just comes into your eyes.
Actually, like, it's like the event is so stressful, and then now that I work, I build the course all summer. So I actually do, like, I used to just get nightmares like closer to the event, like stress dreams and stuff, like getting lost on the course, or I'd have like nightmares about like, just like stuff going wrong, or like, like the thing where it's like you can't run, but like something like that with like your snowboard, like your straps. Like this year I was having nightmares that my strap would do like the 2 clicks loose on my run, and then I couldn't get it tight again, like while trying to go down the slope. So I was having those, but then I like, from building it in the summers, and now I have nightmares in the summer and stuff. So I'll have like nightmares that like Travis calls, and it's like the course has got to change, like I have like that nightmare, or like, yeah, or like that things aren't put in the right spot, or like that. And like I'll have like a specific rider maybe that's in my dream that's like mad that like 2 things didn't line up. So it's like natural selection keeps me up at night all year basically. But yeah, it's still worth it.
What does a successful life look like to Dustin Craven?
I was just telling my golf buddy Logan Pejota. Logan Pejota. My golf buddy Logan Pejota. I was like, you want to be just make enough money that you make it through winter with money. Then you want to golf for 6 to 8 weeks with no job. Then you want to work really hard for 8 to 10 weeks. Then you want a month-long surfing trip. And that's my cycle of like, I think I could be pretty happy if like that was it.
Where do you love to surf the most?
I go to Indonesia all the time, and yeah, it's crazy busy now, but I got some really good friends that live over there, and through the years just like spent so much time with them that it's always a special place to go. It's like a second home. It's like when I go there now, it's like I have like bedrooms to stay in and stuff. It's like I don't get hotels, so it's like going there isn't like exactly like as crazy in an expanse. And then like just met like surf buddies that I've been like going over there and specifically gone on like crazy like surf trips that like people would die to go on. And it's just because I met the right friend that's like a crazy into surfing and is down to like go do like we're not into it. And it's like, do you want to go way northern Australia for like 3 nights? It's like, sure. And it's like he wants to ride waves that are like gonna kill me, and I just end up like barely surfing. But it's like just to go to that like that remote location, it's kind of like snowboarding where you get to go to like, it's like if you took a regular Joe out to like Perfect Jump and it was like everyone that you went with them and it's like, are you gonna hit it? It's like, no, I'll just watch you guys. It's like, that's okay, you know. Like that's where I'm at with like some of the waves that I go to surfing. I'm like, they're like, you coming out? It's like, nah, there's like, we're at a surf wave and there's like 9 red cameras on the beach. I think I'm good, you know. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Life is all about who you know. That's the thing is like if you get outside your house and you get outside your comfort zone and you meet new people, yeah, for sure there's going to be some fucking lemons. But for the most part, you'll meet amazing people and then you'll have a place to stay in Bali. And speaking of Bali, if you go there and you're on a surf trip, there's a shop there, BGS.
Bukit General Supply.
Is that what it is?
And there's actually like 7 now. So
Holy
it's
shit.
like, it's really damn good coffee. And yeah, if you want to get a surfboard, but my friend Jordan Kendall is owner operator along with Komong. And if you go in there and you tell Komong that you're a snowboarder, he'll definitely bring the man boys and me up and ask you a lot about snow. Yeah.
Yeah, shout outs to them. Best stunt that you've done that's never been documented? Because I feel like you're not a boarder who just turns on when the cameras are on.
Oh, I mean,
is there one that you're taking to the grave?
I feel like when I'm out doing some stuff, sometimes it's like there'll be a recreational like 30 or 40 footer that like it's like I'll just do. It's like, you know, or like when we're doing runs and it's like there'll be like we'll hit like this open pillow field or something. There'll be like 2 pillows that are like so far apart. It's like I'll try the ollie. It's like, you know, it's like whether I make it or not. It's like I do like that. Try to do that kind of stuff on like a regular basis. It's like it's like that's the best part is like it's not always for filming, you know. Some days you just need to rip it up.
All right, who's your favorite person to snowboard with?
Or Charles or Dozer. Like yeah, Dozer is like, and Darcy. It's like those guys just are like they're snowboarders. It's like, and they're all like we're getting older and like we're getting into split boarding. So we're doing split boarding all the time. Actually, I was thinking it on the way here. It's like it's when you go split boarding, it's like you get there and you like however you get there, and then you're like doing it and you're like switching into ski mode and you're like kind of at the bottom and you're having fun. You're switching into being a skier and you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then you're like are on the trail and you're like, oh, it's kind of easy right now. And you're like, okay, it's not that bad. And you're having a good conversation. And then like halfway up, you're kind of like getting tired. Like conversation starts to stop. You're like, okay, like just a little further. Like I'll just get through this. And you get near the top and you're like pretty exhausted. And you're like, I fucking hate skiing. This is the worst thing I possibly could ever do. But then right when you get to the top, you click it back into a snowboard and you're like, oh, I'm back to doing the greatest thing I've ever done. And so I think that all these skiers, that's what they have to go through all the time. And then they finally get to go snowboarding and they realize that they fucked up.
I love how like when you bump into a ski crew, they always have like snowboard boots.
Yeah. They're like, what are you doing today? It's like, oh, we might do a couple fun ones. It's like, so what are you doing all the time? Like, I don't know. I might just snowboard for a bit for fun. It's like, well, what are you doing with your skis out here? It's like,
oh, that's for making money.
Oh yeah. That's paycheck stuff.
All right. Who's the GOAT?
Oh, I don't know. It's so tough. GOAT's tough.
Your GOAT.
Oh, my GOAT. My GOAT's Pat Bridges. And I think like I always think about it's like ATV GOAT, Pat Moore, jibbing GOAT is Jed Anderson, and backcountry goat is obviously Travis for me. All those guys are a completely different snowboard. I'm not like them in snowboarding in any way. So I think it's just like they just homed in on what they're incredible at, and they like nailed it for their time.
Pipe goat.
Well, Sean, if you ever will watch Sean ride, it's like it was the best. It was like Scotty Roberts, Scotty Arnold. He's got it. Like he's the Australian jib rider or pipe rider, right?
Scotty. Oh God, why?
Scotty.
Not Lago. Why can't we think of his name? He's the biggest pipe rider.
Yeah,
in
he's
the
the
world
biggest
right
pipe rider in the world right now.
now.
Anyways, I mean, yeah, like watching him, like his edge control and stuff. But it's like I don't know, like for the era of like when I got to watch it live, like around the Olympics and stuff. Yeah, like Sean was the goat of pipe riding. He was something else.
All right, goat quarter pipe rider.
Terrier, obviously.
Goat hip rider.
Mods Johnson, maybe. And also like a sleeper that most people don't know. Mikkel's probably like one of the best hip riders in the world. Yep.
I'm trying to think of another goat question.
Goat of like low impact snowboarding is probably Scott Stevens.
Okay.
Yeah. Jumping around on trampolines.
Goat tweaker.
Noah Slasnik.
Goat filmmaker.
I mean, Kurt Morgan kind of ruined snowboard movies for the rest of us, you know? But
Goat photographer.
He's not a good sledder, but Chad Chomlock's kind of like pretty up there for me. Yeah.
He's not a good
He's
sledder.
not a good sledder.
I love that you added that.
I always try and get him to come up and like we know how different we are of snowmobilers. And I think it's like, I think he gets nervous, like he knows, but he's like kind of doesn't want to because he thinks that he's just going to be like, it's going to be a problem, you know, for us, which it wouldn't be because I'd do anything to get him anywhere. But yeah, Chad's just like, his presence in the backcountry is just like someone that you want to be there. He's someone that you want pointing his lens at you when you're at the top, and he's someone that you want to stand shoulder to shoulder with at the bottom.
That's exactly how I would articulate my relationship with Jeff. He was my favorite, like without knowing, he was my favorite person to be in a parking lot after a sled day. Just his presence of standing there with his laugh. Never the person who wanted to stay super long, never the person who wanted to go home early. He could always just read the room perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss that dearly.
Yeah.
Dustin, any closing remarks, any shout outs?
No, just obviously anyone that's been a part of my snowboarding throughout my whole journey. Obviously can't cover everyone in this podcast. And if you got missed, it's not personal unless you want to take it personally. You go fuck yourself. No. Anyone that's like, so many people have helped me and like got me through, I've tried to make a point to like thank the people that got me through the low times and like to keep my career going and make it all count. And at the end of the day, it's I have more beers and do more runs with all of my friends that are out there. And I look forward to shredding with everyone that I love and, maybe shredding with some people I don't know for the first time.
Dustin, thank you for coming on the show. It's so fun to hang out with you these last 3 years at Natural Selection.
You were there?
Yeah, I ruined your life 3 years in a row.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. What keeps me up at night? Jody being a fucking judge.
Drop the high and the low score. I love you, dude. Thanks for everything you do for snowboarding. Thanks for mentoring the next generation. And thanks for fucking being one of my favorite snowboarders and humans of all time. I fucking love hanging out with you and Charles.
Thanks, Jody. Yeah, love you. Love you a lot. Thanks for finally giving me the call up. Means a lot.
I didn't give you the call up. I ran into you. And I've been asking you to come on the show for 5 years now, and you're like, nope.
You got to let you perfect your craft.
Well said. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Until next time, take care. Right on. Peace.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Cool.
I'll get it. I'll just like, this is homework for the bomb hole in the